frozen reaches of Icewind Dale, in the shadow of the spine of the world, lie the 10 Towns. A safe haven for the outcast and downtrodden, but at a cost. Life in the 10 Towns is harsh. The wind is cruel and cold as some of the people who call this place home. It's been at least 2 years since the frostmaiden stole the sun and the last bit of warmth from this place. You can still find kind faces and warm cider, but I fear they're getting more few and far between as the months go on. We've never heard back from the people who try to leave, braving the mountain pass to escape the rime. Not that I would be in much of a letter-writing mood if I chose to run either. Hunger and isolation does things to weak minds. I've heard neighborhood boys talking of whispers coming from the mountains before slipping out into a storm and never returning. There's certainly more to this place than mead and cold, but I doubt those simpletons could grasp it. Perhaps they got caught up in those crazed sacrifices that have obviously yielded no results. At the end of the day, whether you're a thief, sellsword, noble knight, or a runaway, we're all equal in the north. Cold bites us all just the same. It's been many years since the companions of the Hall began their legacy in the 10 Towns of Icewind Dale. Many adventurers still find themselves pulled to test their mettle against the harsh winter landscape that the north offers. Every story has a beginning, and this is ours. Let us hope that these would-be heroes find unity more beneficial than isolation and secrecy. Let us hope that we all manage to survive the Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Back. Howdy. We are made it. Welcome to the second launch attempt. Looks like everything is working pretty good. A little bit red, but everything else is totally fine. Welcome to the 5th episode of Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden. I'm pretty sure I know how to count to 5. We are here. I am Paradox, the DM. I'm joined by my lovely players. You guys would like to introduce yourselves and do a little recap?
I'm Westfield, and I'm playing Latin, the Barbarian.
I'm Texas Stevens. I'm playing Art, the Wizard. Sword fight.
I'm Texas Tibbers, and I'm playing Mila.
All right.
That's something.
What happened last time on D&D? There's actually a decent amount of stuff that happened last time.
Now I'm going to be the one to say, where did we begin our
We
journey?
left an initiative.
Yeah, but where did we begin our last session?
Our adventurers.
We
Talked in
back
Icewind.
to...
We had just gotten done with, South of Targos, the ice sword guy,
Suffolk. Yeah.
Suffolk Caltro, and we fought him, and then after we fought him, we went and finished our business in the boat with the plesiosaurus.
Right.
And after that, we met you in the tavern, said about the awakened plesiosaurus, and heard about Ravison, the druid human. That was on the eastern shore of something that they want to make.
Wallen, I believe.
Yeah.
The lake that's by the town we were in.
We named the plesiosaurus Ginty. We had a couple of days to get stronger and smarter at some point.
A little bit of training and leveling up.
Art did some studying and research, and Mila did some sparring with an elf, and Latin has had a seizure. Yeah.
A vision. A vision.
Vision. No.
And we had breakfast, spoke to the speaker, who was very eccentric and wonderful. Learned about crystal spires that was sort of dropped in from the speaker. And frost giants, and we had a choice between Tourmaline for the druid or Bryn Shander for Knobberknocker for info on the blessings.
Right.
And we chose Bryn Shander, which is a 3 snowflake for comfort place. We had the outside of the big walls and being like introduced to the city. Northlook, the Avernon Tin, Scrimsax is the bartender with a great sword. We went to the Black Iron Blades where we met Elsa and Gran, and they make shitty swords.
Oh, yes.
Graham the
The
Hammer.
blacksmith.
We went to see the botanist, my Wolfroot, and as we were going in, we were approached by a group of ruffians who were worse for wear. 3 stocky dwarf figures, Runa, Corax, and Storm, and they just lost their friend Orbox. Was torn apart by a Yeti. And they're all pretty bad shape, and they told us about a cart of iron ingots, a sled, that if we could go recover it in the middle of the tundra, that would be like really good for us. While we were in the herbalist, we picked up some HP potions, and some sleep herbs. And we started traveling. We started traveling during a blizzard, but we did pretty well. You, Latin, noticed some like sled tracks, which led us to a half a dozen small somethings. And then we know what the small somethings are because we saw this big war cart thing, which I think we have an image of.
Currently on the screen.
And that's being driven by 2 giant polar bears. Or not giant polar bears, we found out that polar bears are just large in general.
They are big.
Polar bears be big.
And then we rolled initiative, which is Latin art, Goblin, Goblins, Neela, Goblins, Goblin Boss.
Yep. So you guys are in the initiative order. I do need your mini on the board, if you will. Miss Neela.
So we're about 20 feet away from the iron ingot sled.
Yes.
Which is represented by the peach.
For the record, as far as size,
Oh, we also found out that some people can have an allergic reaction to knucklehead trout.
yes, a specific kind of callus foot rot
Right.
as exists as a allergic reaction to knucklehead.
D&D gout. It's like reverse gout, though, because fish makes it worse instead of better.
These, where the heck are these? The sled weighs 300 pounds, and the iron ingots add another 600 pounds of weight to it. There are, I know in here somewhere, it literally says, oh, maybe it's here. In this part, yes. 300 iron ingots are strapped to this, and each ingot weighs about 2 pounds. So this is a big-ass cart, just for reference.
This is large and flat. Like, how high does it go?
It stacks up a decent amount. A goblin probably wouldn't be able to see over the cart to the goblins near it.
Polar bears be big.
That looks like a 15-foot, 20-foot, like 2-story cart. That looks like a double-decker cart that's imaged.
Like I said, the cart itself. Well, this is their war cart.
Yeah, that's this.
That's this one over here. It's taller than it is long.
Like, that's a double-decker.
Yeah.
But this thing, like, if I wanted to get up on top of that.
You probably could. It would be difficult, mostly due to the state of things being so cold and frozen and whatnot. It would be a little bit difficult to climb, just off of your initial guess. So, as we get into things, I have a lovely excerpt that is a little bit more relevant for last session than this one, but I didn't want to spoil things last session. from the prolific Driz Doerden. I will never cease to be entertained by the curious actions of the inebriated. Old Bitey is the stuffed, preserved carcass of a knucklehead trout, mounted above the fireplace of the Northlook, a favorite inn for adventurers in Brinchander. A wizardly patron, presumably after quaffing a large quantity of mead, chose to animate the trophy, causing it to forevermore gnash its jaws at anyone passing by. Knucklehead trout are not easily fished. They are willful and strong, prone to wrestling fisherfolk. Old Bitey in particular was renowned for dragging fisherfolk into icy waters. I believe the wizard's spell would greatly please the trout, if indeed the fish were able to grasp such concepts. My own symbol of Myaliki, carved for me by my good friend Regis, is the scrimshawed skull of a knucklebone trout. I'm sure my friend could craft at least a dozen more pendants from the sizable skull of Old Bitey. Favorite fishy friend.
Gosh. I have some quick polar bear facts for everyone.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
typically, polar bears weigh between about 770 and 1,300 pounds
Fair.
and stand up on their hind legs up to around 8 feet tall. But one time in 1960, they killed an Alaskan polar bear, which is the largest known bear in existence. It was 12 feet tall and weighed 2,200 pounds, which is just insane. Also, polar bears are apparently the largest land carnivores currently around.
Dinosaurs.
I mean, here we got plesiosaurs, and presumably their land-based counterparts.
Yeah, a little different in D&D, I think. It's like
Okay.
T-Rexes and stuff.
Well,
So,
As the blizzard kind of clears away and you guys get a little bit more line of sight into this area in front of you, the goblins have not noticed you yet. We are currently in initiative and ready to rumble whenever you are. I believe Latin, you are first.
Just for context, that polar bear, his head touched the banister.
I'm 5'8".
It would be like up
It's
there.
two of me.
yeah, two talls of me. And
And then if it reached its
tens
hands up,
of times the weight of me.
And built for cuddles.
And it would fill this whole room.
Okay, honestly, first time in my life I'm ever to say it. Sorry, it's not D&D related. That bear, I would hesitate owning a bear that size.
It wouldn't
We
fit
found
the
your
house.
limit.
It couldn't walk through this space.
Yes, it could. I'm not saying that I wouldn't think about. I would think about. It would just give me some hesitation. But like a normal bear, a bear that's my size, just like one size of me and not two sizes of me.
Speaking of,
Totally.
so Latin is going to
Become a bear.
run forward at these goblins.
Okay.
And as he runs forward at the goblins, he will go into a rage.
Okay.
But instead of his normal rage,
Also, they don't see us yet.
Yes.
we're gonna go beat him.
They're kind of the goblins themselves are like cursing and dragging this cart with all their might. I haven't noticed you quite yet.
Instead of his where's it falling off? Instead of his normal rage, Latin's eyes turn red instead of his normal golden color. As he runs forward, the axe in his hand drops out of his hand and lands in the snow behind him. He continues to run forward, but starts to kind of growl out in his rage, but also kind of in pain as his jaw starts to and his nose and facial features start to distend out of his face and move forward. His hand, which is already, and forearm, which is already massive, starts to grow and crack and get bigger in size as fur starts sprouting from his arm. His nose forms into a snout and turns into the mouth and jaws of that of a bear. his teeth growing in size to match his new jaw size. As his hand was once a hand is now a giant bear paw with large bear claws coming out of his hand. As he stops in front of this goblin, shield hand kind of still on the side, also covered in fur now, as he slashes down with his bear claw down into this goblin.
Swing away, sir.
As Latin has taken his third level in Barbarian and picked the beast. I forget what it's called. It's like the beast heart. It's not beast heart. Form of the beast Barbarian.
Fucking sick.
Form of the owl.
Latin wildly swings out with his claws at this goblin. With a 23.
23 is a hit.
Snow, you
Deal
could
your
have picked
damage,
a
sir.
turtle.
I could have picked a turtle. That wasn't an option. Turtle wasn't an option on the list of beasts.
There's so many players, they've already capped it out. There's like Michelangelo, he does it.
Yeah.
Donatello, he does it.
All those like famous artists. Couldn't stack up to them. So
Yeah. It's already been done. You gotta do this justice. Claim it for your own.
okay, I will claim it for my own.
Deal your damage, sir.
For 11 damage.
11 points of damage. As you strike down, getting the jump on this group of goblins, the first one falls easily underneath the massive weight of your claws. As you hear some crunching and a slight and the other goblins whip around, looking terrified at the creature that is pursuing them.
Then Aladdin will yell out in a bestial roar that has no semblance of Latin's normal voice as he steps forward and takes another swing at
Okay.
this other goblin.
You have multi-attack?
I do not, but form of the beast with my bear claw. Whenever I make an attack with the bear claw, I can make another attack as part of that attack action.
Cool.
They do less damage than my axe, though. But this one's only gonna be a 13.
13 is going to be a miss, unfortunately, as this one, terrified, kind of pulls up a leather strap shield that was like fastened to its arm and barely blocks the bear claw. You feel the like light cracking of bones underneath as the goblin's brittle structure struggles to hold up your weight.
Some like drool and like animal slaughter is coming out of Latin's newly formed jaws.
Art, you are up.
How does this work? Hold on.
Well, fireball is a 20-foot radius.
I would
Not quite that level yet.
But
I guess we're not quite at multi-attack level yet either, so anything's possible, really.
Anything's possible. Give me the what was? God, imagine the fucking vitriol of if they added a subclass that the only thing the subclass gave you was access to fireball at level 3. Like so many people would take that shit.
I think as a bonus action, I'll start blade singing.
Okay.
And then I'll move forward to here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to. It's probably something like here. I hit this. I go this way. I'm basically aiming to capture all of those 5 creatures in a 30-foot cone. Is that potential?
Okay. Yeah. What is this going to be, like a dex save?
Yes. The first time using this spell. 30-foot cone. No, it's a Constitution save.
A Constitution save.
It is Rime's Binding Ice.
And what does this spell do?
It is a 30-foot cone. It's a burst of cold energy that emanates from you in a 30-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a con saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 3d8 cold damage and is hindered by ice formations for a minute, until another creature within reach of it uses an action to break away the ice. Creature hindered by ice has the speed reduced to 0, and on a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't hindered by ice.
Nice. Okay. So
It says rhyme in it, so I had to use it. Give an opportunity.
that's pretty
learning
cool.
from your surroundings.
Yeah.
Okay, so way this will go, we're gonna do Goblin 1 up there closest to you. Boom. What is the DC that
Yeah, I figured you were going to ask that question. It's 13.
13. So 1 is a fail, 2 is a fail, and 3 is also a fail.
Oh, no.
On this other side,
Guys,
they're succeeding and succeeding. So these 3 failed, these 2 succeed.
those two succeed because they had some...
Goblins well known for their high constitution.
yeah.
It is called Rhymes Binding Ice. R-I-M-E_S, Binding Ice.
As you channel some of the natural windy magic or icy magic that permeates the entire Icewind Dale snowfall.
Really easy to cast that spell.
Wait, how's it getting even colder? I'm already bundled for the cold.
You can't make this up. On 3d8, I just rolled a 6.
A 6.
I thought you were gonna say 24.
A 6.
So these 2 take 3.
Hey, you just did
These
6,
3.
12.
Take 6. That is an unfortunate amount
24
of damage.
I could have done a lot more.
The goblins are currently surprised. However, the group that you guys are here as they're reacting, one on the far end whips out a horn and blows into it, and you hear a as you the polar bear's head snap over and attention is drawn to your area.
That is such a good horn noise.
Neela, you are up.
There's both sets of goblins win?
They're surprised, though.
So, you hear me run up behind you, like, in the snow. I run up behind Latin, and I pull out my lance, and I'm lancing, like, over your right shoulder, right? And I'm like, are you alright? And, what is that? And I stab at the goblin that's right there
Give me
in
a
front
tackle.
of him. What dice am I using today? So a 13 plus 5.
13 plus 5 is going to be a hit.
Alright, and I roll...
Yes. This goblin is still kind of has its shield raised and is still kind of struggling to fight off the sheer force of the blow from Latin.
5.
For 5 damage.
Yes.
Okay. Not too bad. This goblin is just barely standing still. He takes the javelin hit kind of to the side and buckles down, falling to the ground, but manages to slide out from behind the incoming fist as well as the lance hit.
Alright, that's it.
Okay, perfect. Next up is these guys who aren't doing anything because they are indeed surprised. And then it is you, Latin.
You see Latin's head like turn to catch you out of the corner of his eye, and there's just like no semblance of humanity in his face. It's just like all, and he kind of like brushes his arm up against your lance a bit, but goes down to step forward and swing at these goblins.
Okay.
That's nice. 13.
13 is going to be a miss on the first one.
Let's try that again.
Will do.
Critical.
Critical is going to be a hit on the second one.
At least we got that. Woo.
Are you continuing clobbering on the back one?
Though just in order.
In order, yeah.
In order, yeah. Sorry.
You're good.
How much damage do I do again? 3, 4,
And are you knocking
9
out?
damage.
9 points of damage.
Are you knocking out or are you killing?
I think I'm killing.
So you killed the first one.
Yeah.
As you swipe down and miss the first strike, this goblin, who is kind of a little bit more worse for wear than the other one, scrambles up and reaches out and is grabbing onto the cart, looking up terrified as your claws find the spot that the lance had previously pierced and just dig up, and you feel the familiar kind of give of internal organs as the goblin falls to your claws.
The familiar one.
No, not familiar.
Not familiar. Not familiar.
Brand new. Brand new sensation.
Punching the insider goblins of horses that we don't know about.
No, I have not.
Art, you are up.
I promise.
I will shift.
Okay.
As I take on a much less aggressive form of, moving into an animalistic kind of representation. Claws elongating, fur spreading a little bit more often. And I move up.
Okay.
Into this guy's range, and then I will attempt to do some stabbing.
Roger Donker.
17
17 is a hit.
with the Jian, and he does 5 damage.
5 points of damage is enough to finish off this goblin, who was currently scrambling, trying to decide whether or not it was going to be grabbing the bow or the sword on its hip, looking up as the Jiang slices across its chest.
I
Pretty good
will
with that.
then continue my movement. So I've used my bonus action and my attack action.
Mhm.
And I've used 5 feet of movement, and I got a total of 40 speed while shifted. Let's see. That's
I love this.
I'll put him right here. That's where
Okay.
I want to be.
Alrighty then.
He darts in, makes a quick thrust, kills a goblin, then just retreats back a few feet.
So next up, you hear clamoring and yelling from the cart area, and you hear a gruffled voice of a female goblin, like, "What are you doing? Kill them! Kill them all!" As this goblin, for starters, is going to be swinging at you, Monsieur Latin. Ooh, that's a dead dice. Goodbye forever.
Oh,
Bye.
rip.
Forever.
That's quick. Be careful.
This
You
goblin
can
is
be
swinging at you,
tempted.
and he can't have advantage, correct?
He does have advantage.
He
I
does
have
have
not shifted.
Okay, cool. Could you help me?
I
That would be great. That is
No,
my
it's dead to
advantage
you.
dice.
You said so yourself. I heard it.
But it's the dead part of the advantage dice. I appreciate it greatly. A little bit locked in. Thank you, sir. That is a natural 19
That'll be a miss.
for a total of 23.
Okay, that's a hit.
23 is a hit. As it whips out its scimitar and slashes up against your claws, it deals 4 damage of slashing damage.
Cut in half to 2.
Next up, because every time I split anything into groups, it automatically rolls the exact same initiative as each other for whatever reason.
Goblins A and B. I mean, yeah, they're definitely distinct groups of goblins.
These two begin scrambling. One of them crawls underneath the cart and pops up right here. The other one scrambles over and kind of like
chase me.
heroically jumps off the cart, bringing its scimitar down onto you, Neela.
Oh, so he could scramble on it.
Scrambled egg.
Scramble. However, it was a little bit too in tune with the aesthetics and only rolls a 6 to hit.
That's a hit.
Add 10 to that.
The other one attacking you, Latin, is a 16.
Oh, wait,
That
hold on.
hit.
Hold on.
Oh.
On a failed save, a creature takes 3d8 total damage and is hindered by ice formations for a minute, until another creature within reach uses its action to break away the ice. A creature hindered by ice has its speed reduced to 0. Those two cannot move.
Okay.
I did something helpful,
Very well.
even though I did 6 damage to him.
They're covered in ice.
They're covered in ice as the ice spears kind of come up and are binding them in place. Instead of scrambling over the cart, they both take out their short bows, as the other one was
It's you.
was trying to do, and they're both going to be shooting at you, Mr. That is a 16
That's a miss.
and an 18.
Miss.
All right. And next up is Neela.
This spell's cool.
So I am going to take a step up and 10 feet and then lands at the goblin. Are you still in there?
Bear roar. Ah.
Are you going to attack me? I rolled a 13 plus 5.
13 plus 5 is a hit.
And then 5 plus 3 is 8 damage.
8 points of damage as you strike down this goblin. This guy right here.
Also, I just wanted to get booted back. Just
As you kind of go in for a wide sweep, and the goblin blasts back, knocking its head against one of the iron ingots in the cart and falls down, crumple.
Are you a large stone?
No, I just keep getting bumped. Would this goblin go crumple?
Goblin does go crumple, yes.
Crumple
Thank you.
goblin.
Crumple goblin.
Crumple stiltskin. What did I got?
no.
I just get up myself. My own freaking joke.
Okay, that's Neela. Next up are the cart goblins.
Card goblin.
Cart goblins. Help me with barbarian things.
Okay.
These two goblins are shooting you. Do they have advantage?
I
They
believe
are
so, yes.
within 30 feet of you, but they're making ranged attacks.
The range attack portion shouldn't matter. They just would get advantage regardless. But let me just... Features and traits. Reckless attack. When you make your first attack on your turn, you can decide to attack recklessly, giving you advantage on melee attack rolls using strength this turn. But attack rolls against you have advantage until your next turn.
Okay.
All attack rolls from everything, anywhere, at any distance, have advantage.
Cool.
The distance thing is only when I'm shifted.
Okay. These two are making their attacks. That's a double 18 for the first one. So that one's going to be a hit.
And they're shooting at Latin with short bows?
Yes, they have arrow slits in the side of the cart that they're using, and they're currently shooting their bows out of there. With the short bow, the first one deals 7 points of damage, pre-mitigation. And the second one, also prioritizing the ravenous beast in front of them, is a 19 to hit.
That's a hit.
Dealing 4 points of piercing damage.
Shunk. I might be close to your HP now.
Are you sure?
28?
Not even close.
Close-ish.
Okay, with my temp HP, I think I have 25 HP.
These two goblins, who you briefly saw from the cracks of the whatchamacallit, now disappear out of sight. And you guys actually don't know where in the cart they are. This one does scramble up to the roof, and you see a kind of torch coming up towards the roof. As you see this slightly larger goblin with a skull on its head and a long, like, flowing material coming off of it. Let's say
Perhaps call him the G-Boss.
yes, you would call him the G-Boss. And continues yelling out in your direction, and you see it pulls up a box full of javelins as it grabs 2 of them and hurls one for starters at you. The first one is a 23
That's the hit.
have
for
30
6
CP?
damage. Premedication.
Well, how much, sorry?
6 damage.
Thank you.
The second one, however, you do kind of notice that while this goblin seemed pretty sure of its game plan here, it's not exactly as ambidextrous as its game plan would imply. Due to it having advantage, it is a neutral attack. But you can tell, even in your enraged state, that this goblin's second attack is not nearly as dangerous as the first one, potentially.
Critical.
Unless it rolls a 19, in which case
That's a hit.
it is another 6 damage premedication. How are you looking currently?
I'm doing fine. I'm at 22.
All right.
I'm a sponge.
A sponge. And this goblin also disappears over the lip of the cart, and you do not know where it is currently.
I yell out, "Get them! These 2 are stuck. I'll take care of them."
Latin, you are up.
Barely able to see
Latin
what's going on.
has just like Ab's got like multiple arrows and a 2 javelins sticking out of his like
Fully
front chest. He looks left and looks right, and then sniff with his big bare muzzle, and he just charges straight forward at these arrow slits and just starts like trying to break reaching in with his muzzle and smashing in with his hands and trying to break into the arrow slit.
Okay.
How much HP does this thing have? Look.
This is the most Pocahontas bear.
Or freaking brave.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Ooh.
Which bear are you from Brave?
Ooh, one of those small little kids. He's totally embodying that one right now.
Roly poly.
First of all,
Did we?
Jesus, right.
I'll have to do it again.
You're charging for over there. You should be fine. As far as the cart itself, go ahead and give me a attack roll.
An attack roll.
If you are trying to smash into this cart.
23.
A 23 will be a hit. Not particularly hard to hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
It is the side of a barn.
It is indeed the side of a barn.
Like,
it's
whenever
more of the
yeah.
it's more of the hardness factor of like how well you're able to break into it.
Yeah, so now you're attacking against the hardness factor.
You said damage rate?
Yes, you can roll damage.
I don't know why I was trying to roll 2d. 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay.
Should I make a second swing as well?
Yes, if you're still swinging at the thing.
14.
14 will be a hit as well.
For another 7 damage.
That's
What
not
damage?
maximum D6age over there, my friend.
What, 2d6?
No, you normally roll 6s and 5s.
Oh. I mean, when I crit, I rolled a 1 and a 3.
I didn't see it. So the curse has finally been lifted, and you're no longer like max damage.
Your were you attacking recklessly on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. As you kind of wail into the cart, you make a decent amount of progress on like kind of this section here. You open up a little bit, but it's still not enough to like get in or properly reach in.
How's that goblin reacting?
That's psychotic. This big bear hand.
Exactly. Currently, the layout as he is looking in, all the goblins in here are hidden. So he actually doesn't see any of the reactions. But pissing pants may be involved.
Yeah, I was like, there's a goblin like right in front of the slit, and he just wanted to know what he was reaching.
Okay, Art, you are up.
It is my turn. I will move forward.
Okay,
I will stab.
go for it.
Not a critical, but 24.
24 is a hit.
I've done it. I've rolled a 6 on this. He takes 9 damage.
9 points of damage.
Another swift execution, presumably.
Yes, this one is also thusly destroyed.
And sliding a dagger out of my belt sheath, I step forward and lunge at the next one.
Okay.
17.
A 17 is a hit, yes.
For 3 damage.
For 3 points of damage, which is just enough
Haha!
to also fell.
Oh, the polar bear fell over.
The
In
polar bear. The
embarrassment.
polar bear is dead. Okay. And all of the cart goblins have been destroyed.
I will.
So is that goblins A and B?
Yes.
Can we turn goblins A and B to the left?
That might be easier for Robert.
So next up is Neela.
So I go back behind the cart and I take cover.
So I'm going to run up. Does it look like there's stairs or anything on the back end of this cart?
As you move up, yeah, there's a like ladder that's on the back there.
30?
No, I wouldn't do that. I just need to know if there, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into this car. It probably has goblin-sized doors and like.
From the looks of it, there's no entrance that's on the first floor.
Yeah. How big is the hole? Is it lanceable?
The hole that he's currently working on, it would still need a little bit more work before you're able to really get anything through there that's not like arrow sized.
Okay. I'm gonna run up right next to.
What are the polar bears doing at this time?
No, the other
The
side.
polar bears are currently they're
Yes.
locked in place essentially by the cart.
Take one step
They
back.
are kind of roaring and looking around, and they don't really have a function of what's going on here, but they can tell that things are like happening.
When you play the bugle and they snap their attention at us, that wasn't a them
That-
being
that-
called.
that wasn't the polar bears being called into battle. That was the goblins being notified that you guys are there.
Okay.
So I. Latin? Hope you're in there! And I, roll Lance at the cart with.
Go for it.
I rolled a hit,
Yes,
so 8 plus 5.
that's a 13. That's a hit.
Cool.
So 10 damage.
10 more points of damage. So you kind of throw your lance into the mix of it and break off another chunk of wood. It's now, the opening is large enough to sort of see through, and you could fit an arm through there, but it's not quite large enough to crawl through yet. But it is
So
pretty close.
do I see any of them?
None of these guys know. There's various materials and flaps and things of furs that they're currently actively hiding behind.
So I will, what's it called? Action Surge.
Action charge, all right?
And I will put my face in the dang hole that I just made,
Okay.
and I will, breath weapon.
Okay.
Ooh. So you step up to here
Kind of-
and then breath weapon into your hole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is a dex save of 13.
Dex save of 13.
So the cart and anyone in its way.
Yeah.
Is yours a cone? Or
Yeah,
Cool.
it's a cone. 15-foot cone.
very cool.
Dex save of 13. Both of these goblins do succeed. However, do they take half on a fail? I believe they do now.
They'll half. Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and roll damage for me.
Very cool.
Ooh,
What kind of damage do you do?
lightning D10.
You just brought the thunderstorm inside the cart. We were supposed to be protected from the weather. All of it?
It's just a 3.
Yeah, are you Volver or
Three?
Volver? What did you do?
Is that 3 before mitigation, or is that you rolled a 3?
I rolled a 3.
Okay. So, not the most damage. However, both of these goblins do feel like they pulled on a prank piece of gum that you were chewing at the time.
Ew.
You hear some kind of clamoring in the cart.
Why were you chewing on a prank piece of
These goblins. Let's see.
That's the most dodgy-o, like, energy.
Coming out of their kind of hiding spots, you see the furs kind of below back as one of them takes shots at each of you. Done.
The furs blowback, sorry?
There's kind of like hanging draped furs that are in it that they were like actively hiding behind. Because they do know that people don't like archer holes. That is a 20 to hit you. As one of the whatchamacallits, arrows finds a nick in your armor, dealing 4 points of damage. And then for you, sir,
It's me.
that is a 22.
That's a hit.
You're rolling pretty good today. Advantage helps. 5 points of damage for you.
I actually played this character just to give you a morale boost. You
Yeah,
said
yeah,
5
yeah.
points of damage.
5 points of damage to you.
He says, knowing at any time he can spend a bonus action to take that advantage away.
Listen, just because I hold the card does not make me a benevolent master.
You hear another yelling of kill them all, as a single javelin comes from directly above you, Latin. And it is a 16
That's a hit.
for
He can't be stopped.
5 points of damage.
At some point, he's going to start
Pre-mitigation.
doing more than 5, right?
And listen, a d6 plus 2 is a d6 plus 2, no matter how you swing it.
Pretty close to those procedures, so I get it.
So that happens. The next thing that happens, Neela, as you're kind of pulling your head back out, you do see 2 torches fall from from within the cart. They kind of fall from a hatchway from the ceiling, landing in a pile of furs and bedding that's on the base of the cart here, as it is currently lighting on fire, and you do not know where this goblin is. Latin, you are up.
Shit. I don't want the card to be on fire.
You said that an arm could fit through here, right?
Yes.
I fit my arm through it and I started rooting around for goblins.
Okay. Both of these were these guys were back making ranged attacks, so you're not going to be able to hit them. However, you can try to increase the hole size. You guys are pretty close to getting it completely open.
Okay, I will do that.
Would Neela say something about the fire?
Yeah. I will. Neela will say, Latin, grab the torches.
I critical.
Okay, you're critical.
It had to happen eventually.
Go ahead and
So
roll
many
damage.
d20s.
Go ahead and roll the damage for me.
When you roll 4 d20s around, you get it.
You gotta crit or get crit eventually.
You said roll damage?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's some better numbers. 15 damage.
15 points of damage, that is enough. You break a man-sized hole in it, which is still a little bit small for you, but you can squeeze through if you are looking to.
Yeah, Latin, goes partially into the cart, and then seeing the fire that's in there, roars at the fire, and then grabs at this first goblin here.
Okay.
With
your
attack.
second attack? Yeah.
with a double 19 plus 5.
May I consider offering you a hexblade dip?
Fighter dip for that champion. Not too easy.
It's only another bonus action to hex people. Like,
I'm not using my bonus actions right now anyway. So, that's gonna be 7 damage.
7 points of damage. This goblin is still standing. However, your claws kind of rake down across its chest, just completely snapping its bow in half as it is holding the two halves, looking up at you with its weird nunchucks. long
Yeah.
nunchucks. Art, you are up.
Okay, I move forward. Hearing you a lot about the fire. Where were these torches down?
The torches are in the back of the cart here and here.
I would like to use controlled flames to extinguish the flames.
Okay.
Oh, that's so useful already.
I come running up and like Neela's like, "Where's the fire?" And I'm like, "Where's the fire?" She points in at the torches, and I'm just like, I peek my head in, and I just like emulate grabbing the air, and I pull the fire out of the torches.
Okay.
Sick.
As you pull the fire off of the torches and it dissipates in the air in
Is that a
between
bonus
you.
action?
Nope, that is my action. I will use my move to get to behind the cart and take the fire out of the flames.
Okay.
I will wide-eyed make as much eye contact as possible, like.
Art just returns the stare and just has a smile on his face.
All right. Awesome. As you pull the fire, the goblins inside the cart kind of looking around, confused as to where'd the fourth guy come from that lit our cart on fire. They kind of looking around, confused. Neela, you are up.
Go get him, Tiger.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah, it's magic.
Oh, magic.
But can my lance reach the one that's...
You can, yes.
Okay. I will lance at...
You are actually in front of this hole, but yes.
I will lance at the one that's on the right.
Okay.
Yeah, you two are working at the same hole.
Can I
Yeah.
reach
Yeah,
them from there?
I don't think that was originally.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You're too bewildered by the magic.
7.
7 is a miss, as this
New abilities that you would potentially be using to
Oh,
perhaps something you can do proficiency modifier times per long rest.
Oh, I can give myself advantage.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do that.
okay.
Thank you.
In
As
the
for
future, you will
myself-
need to be trying your best to declare that before your attack. But yes,
Okay.
you'll be like, I am doing my samurai thing, and then you get your
Cool.
bonus
Thank
action at
you.
10 HP.
Listen, now you know the mechanic exists.
19.
9 is still a hit.
No.
wait.
Or still miss, sorry.
These are some slow goblins.
as the goblins, the goblins panicked shield as you like kind of lock in and bring the large overhead thrust that you've been practicing. The goblin, unfortunately, was a little bit smaller than the kind of creature that you were used to practicing on with this. Also, your sparring buddy didn't actually have a shield. He was just physically dodging the whole time. So the goblin manages to get its shield up just in time, although very scared it's on itself. And you do gain your temp HP. Whatever amount that is.
5.
Pretty good amount of temp HP, actually.
What gives you temp HP?
That's that ability. You get advantage.
Because I'm
Oh, that's awesome.
like
It's pretty cool.
focused.
I didn't know about the temp HP. I just thought it was like 3 advantage rounds.
For the first 5 damage, I'm literally so focused, it's unfazed. It's about drive, it's about
About
power.
power.
You just didn't know that goblin actually was trained by Jin as well.
puppy boy. Whoa.
Judges, but you must train more.
This is your first test as one of my disciples.
Doing the same grind. He's like, I must be the very best trainer there ever was, training all the students.
Training all the Pokemon.
These two goblins drop their arms and fall down to their knees, and raising their hands above their heads, they stop, please, and that is the end of their turn. They're falling prone in front of you, and next up is a goblin whose whereabouts you don't know, whose whereabouts you continue not knowing.
Would you go by Gabos?
It would go by Gabos. Latin, you are up.
Latin mindlessly continues on his bear rampage.
Okay. As the rage and new power of the bear-like form kind of courses through your veins, and you strike down at this defenseless goblin.
Roar.
Roar.
Bear paw. Math is really hard. 16.
16 is a hit.
7.
7 points of damage is enough to kill this goblin, who was already pretty heavily wounded. This one falls in front of you. Inside the cart this time. Art, you are up.
Don't you have more?
Or you have another attack if you wish, yeah.
Yeah, so I think the way this works is that it's a little bit confusing, but I think I have to make the attacks without moving in between them, which is very, not D&D 5th edition, but
Interesting.
the wording on it's a little bit weird. It says you can make another attack as part of the same attack action, which I don't know if that's the same wording as multi-attack or not. If it's the same wording as multi-attack, then I can just move and attack, because that's how
We'll
it works.
find that out real quick. Multi-attack D&D 5e. Special action, a monster has, sometimes says, each of the attacks separately with their own attack and damage rolls.
I just have
Normal, multi-attack, action. These are all for creatures.
Class features. I can just pull it up right here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on the turn.
And then this is once on each of your turns when you attack with a claw using attack action, you can make additional attack as part of the same action.
Also, whenever
I think that you being able to move in between these attacks is completely fine.
said to you,
So you can move forward as
Where
part of
are
your
they?
rage here.
I think
because you're
though
further
what I'm
back.
gonna
Can
do
you see?
is crawl further into here
Uh-huh.
I
and
was gonna
just
go
stand over this goblin in the big bear standing on his two hind legs and just yell bearness at
Okay.
it.
Rivers, could you do me a favor and pull up this light for me? It's a little bit too bright, Kurt. So you are standing over and roaring at this guy?
Yeah, and that is going to be the end of it.
Cool. Art, you are up.
Moving between attacks. Whenever you make an action if you take an action that includes more than one weapon attack, you can break up your movement even further by moving between those attacks.
Mhm.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay.
That makes it easier. Thank you.
I'm going to continue. No, I don't see them just backing up, trying to ducking around behind the cart. I see that ladder on the backside of it. I'm I'm gonna go up, and I go around this and I climb up.
Okay.
The last one.
10. How much climbing is done?
You can make it all the way up the cart in this
Okay.
situation. Making it up to the cart. Sorry, I'm going to mess with the lights a little bit. You see a box full of javelins that currently has, I think, not full of javelins. It currently has 2 more javelins in there. As well as some kind of strewn belongings on the spiked upper portion, but nothing else.
Do I see a trapdoor or anything that...
There is a trap door that leads down into the cart.
How much move speed do I have left? I had 40 to start with. I used 10 to get to the front of this thing.
If you use 10, You probably have another like 5 feet of movement after getting to the top of this cart.
Also,
Where-
how far out away from the cart can we see? Like, can we see like footprints in a 10-foot radius around the cart, or like what can we see out in the distance?
You have the ability to see out about 60 feet, depending on light sources in the area. But relying on your dark vision, you have 60 feet of visible terrain.
So don't unhook the polar bears. Oh my gosh, there's so much that could go wrong.
Don't let the goblin boss unhook the polar bears either.
I believe in you.
I only got 5 feet. That's good. I'm gonna. Where's the trapdoor at?
The trapdoor is just right here.
Okay, I'm gonna move my last 5 feet towards the center.
'Kay.
Of the cart. Looking at the shadows and such.
The little like stands that make it so you're flying.
Go somewhere. Yeah. And I'm gonna attempt to open the trapdoor. Free action, presumably, unless it's like.
The trapdoor is already open.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The trapdoor is open from when the torches accidentally fell.
I'm going to.
Accidentally fell.
I'm going to make a perception check.
Goblin stuff.
Okay.
To
Yes.
look around.
Go ahead and make a perception check. I'm assuming that you are searching for the goblin boss.
Yep.
Okay.
Or goblins in general.
Goblins in general. There's actually 12 more goblins hidden up here. Ready to.
I got a 22.
A 22
I could
is
never roll a 20, but I'm rolling 19s more.
is really good. You looking out and scanning in the area. You unfortunately don't see anything. You're very confident in the fact that you don't see anything, though. You looking around, you have a very good 360 view here.
Yeah.
There's nothing important on the cart up here, at least currently, but
I don't hear any unhitching or stuff like messing with the polar bears or anything. Okay. I don't see him. He's gone. Is he in the cart with you? And that'll be my whole turn.
okay.
I will move up to the polar bear area. Yeah. I want.
You're gonna move up to the polar bears. All right.
10, 15, 20.
Give me
Just to the edge.
Yeah?
Yeah.
give me an animal handling check
I'm not like touching.
as you approach at all. This is a animal handling check to decide their disposition towards you.
You got this.
What is saying? I don't deserve. All right. Animal handling, huh? How about 4 of gold?
4 hearts of gold. Unfortunately, polar bears only have 2 hearts when there are 2 of them. This polar bear, seeing you approach, has already been very on edge here. Seeing you approach is actively taking a very hostile stance towards you. It's not entirely able, doesn't have free range of movement in the harness that it's in, but is like growling and like scratching in your direction as you approach.
Do I see a goblin boss?
Are you trying to search?
A cart.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check
And
as your search action.
16.
16, you don't see anything under the cart and don't see anything in your immediate area other than 2 angry polar bears.
Alright, I will, I'm going to lance at this side of the cart.
Explain.
I'm gonna open a hole on this side.
Okay. You're trying to, like, destroy another wall of the cart in the front of the cart here?
Yeah, but same side. Just like,
Okay. You're basically trying to reach over to the other arrow slit
yes.
kind of situation. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
Do that just fine. 24.
24, you make it.
6 damage.
6. points of damage. Not making the most effect here. Also, just so you are aware, with these polar bears being large creatures, you are currently within the threat range of this polar bear.
Over it.
Okay. It is going to take an attack of opportunity at you.
That's completely fine.
It is not able to reach you perfectly. It'll be swinging at disadvantage due to its hindered state. And only swings with a 6, I believe. So you are okay, but it is it's trying to get you. It is actually a 9. Well, there's a little bit more to hit than I expected. Okay, next up is the polar bears are just like rocking back and forth as they kind of got stirred up a bit more by you coming within reach. Latin, you are up. This goblin is still just cowering on the ground.
All right, I come down from my up stance to attack stance.
Okay.
Attack the goblin.
As you crunch down on the goblin.
Crunch. 18.
18's a hit. It
Or-
is indeed.
10.
10 points of damage is enough. You can destroy this final goblin inside the cart.
For the rest of Latin's turn, he's gonna look around inside the cart and pace a little bit and sniff.
Okay. As you sniff around the cart, we can go ahead and move out of initiative here, as there are no more, apart from the polar bear situation, depending on how you guys deal with it, there are no more active combatants present here in the cart. As Latin is kind of rummaging and pushing things around, kind of throws one of the goblin bodies scattered across the to the other side of the cart as you search through things in there.
Peek through the trapdoor. Hey, Latin, you can calm down a little bit. I think the enemy's gone.
I immediately am looking for the goblin boss.
When you peek down through the trapdoor, Latin will look up and swipe up with his bear claw. He can't reach through the trapdoor to get at you or anything, but slashes at the bottom of the trapdoor, and then with no one to attack, his rage ends and his eyes go back to normal. He just drops onto his back, unconscious in the cart.
No. Bad.
Neela, as you kind of search around, go ahead and give me a perception, but if you're trained in survival, you can do that as well.
An 11.
Unfortunately, you don't get too much from the 11. You don't find anything in particular. As you're kind of searching around in the area, you do notice that the backside of the cart here has a single rope that's coming down off the side of the cart. It's mounted to basically if this was the backside instead of the front side, the rope is mounted to the side here and goes down to the ground.
I check for footprints leading away from the cart.
Unfortunately, with the wind and snowfall, as it has been very recently blizzarding, you're not able to find any direct footprints. As for you guys who are in the cart, the polar bears are still kind of rustling back and forth. You see a couple moments of the cart kind of lurching forward a little bit, but you can tell this cart is so large that even these polar bears kind of struggle to pull it very quickly. They're not sled dogs. This is a slow walk cart situation.
Art just kind of like leaning over the trapdoor, does like one of those. He braces himself and somersaults through the trapdoor and just lands on it, and just starts looking around and starts like pulling on the furs that are hanging.
I don't believe we have much time.
Time for what?
I'm going to unload the ingots onto this cart, and I'm going to need you to drive some polar bears.
Is that like driving a ship? Because I couldn't do that well either.
It's kind of rocky.
I mean, we can try. I mean, but this one's pretty good with them. I'm gonna check. Okay. I'm gonna work on him, getting him awake. He's a little bit more on the lift up the iron ingot things.
That's what I believe. We don't have much time. I believe he's turning into a werebear.
So, I wouldn't say
I've heard
that.
stories about porridge.
Kind of just like tap you in your ribs with the toes of my shoes. Hey, you in there?
His
think my legs
his
are
hand is
down.
turned back to his normal, just human big hand. And his face is back to normal as well.
Okay.
And he's just out.
I just like I look at hey, it's just a shifter thing. Like it happened, like complete like covering for him. You would rely on the fact that you don't know probably as much about shifter genealogy. I'm just like, yeah, no, that's normal. Like it happens sometimes. That's just, he got a little bit into his, his shifting stuff. It's fine.
You're not going to steal porridge, are you?
Yeah, he's sleeping it
He's
off.
asleep. He's going to wake up,
Yeah.
and then he's going to attack us.
No, that's not how that works. Look, his hand's back to normal. It's a hand, not a phone.
Just change on a
Listen,
whim.
I'm a shifter. I know these things.
You're different.
Wait, I mean, yeah.
You look cat-like. That was not cat-like. That
No,
is a werebear.
No, that's not how werebears work. It's fine, I promise you. Literally, he's just sleeping.
How do you know him?
I
Have you spoken to him?
No, I don't know him. I just know shifter
Then how do
genealogy.
you know? Has he told you that he's a shifter?
No, again, like, how do you know a mouse is a mouse? You see a mouse and you say, that's a mouse. I see a shifter, I say that's a
Just
shifter.
a mouse that looks like a bear and also screams
That's
and everything.
That's not fair. That's a dangerous mouse. You don't
I
look at a
don't
dangerous
think
mouse and
that
say,
is
that's gotta be a
dangerous.
safe mouse. No, it's a dangerous mouse. It's fine. He murdered the hell out of these goblins. Which, maybe if we had one alive, that would
I'm just
help us
glad
understand
you're
what we're
not a
doing.
goblin.
Yeah, be glad you're not a goblin. They all died. Alright,
Do we need to keep these bodies? Do we get anything that... I know that in other towns, in Waterdeep, I know that you can turn in specific, criminals or something for, reward. Can we... Maybe they will do something with the bodies.
I try and think back to the,
They can make the pendants from the goblin skulls.
I try and think back to the poster that we saw. Was there any indication for reward for returning in goblin bodies?
I don't believe so, no.
I don't think so either.
There's not currently an active reward for
Let's take it
Goblin.
to
in British Standard.
the adorable couple with the puppies.
No, that's not how that works.
And
No,
into a necklace.
that's gross.
I love it.
Let's wake him up and see if...
I'm going to put the bodies on the roof so it doesn't smell.
No, that's
really
gross. That's so gross. We don't need that.
I
Let's,
want
no,
to.
let's wake him up and ask if there's any purpose to this. And so he can help carry the rocks, because I can't do it. You start moving the rocks. I'm going to take care of the inside of this.
I
and figure out how to
want
wake
a
him up.
goblin necklace
Okay, that's cool. We can
and
figure...
maybe some earrings.
Let's figure that out in a second. Start loading the rocks and... There's a crate on top. There's a crate on top. Oh, there's a couple of javelins. Throw them away. Or keep them. That's fine. You use javelins. They might make all day.
Somebody if I threw them away.
Who's a piece of snow that doesn't have somebody in it? You can use the crate to carry the ingots over.
I don't need practice.
That's not what I'm saying.
I go up to the top and I grab the thing and I set it down with all of my energy. Just set it down. He said, throw it away. I don't know why you say throw it away. And I began to transfer ingots from one cart to the other.
Okay.
I look around and I take one of the arrows from the goblin bodies and I just
know if we can drive this beforehand.
take off the arrowhead. Yeah, we should.
Shush.
And with the fletching side, I just start poking Latin, like, "Hey, buddy!" Just like putting the feathers underneath his nose, kind of scratching at his ears with it, just poking him.
He kind of groans partially awake and begins to open his eyes and looks up and sees Art.
Color your eyes.
Normal color.
Audible sigh. Okay.
Suck.
Yeah, that was a pretty spectacular trick. Hey, we got some chores to do. You want to get up and help? You okay?
Art. Can what? Can you help me?
Help you what?
You know magic.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Can you fix this?
Fix whatever it is that you just did?
I don't know what happened.
Well, I mean, I have words. I can give you a depiction of my countenance and things. You can do that. Let's talk about that. Can I fix... Do you think it's a disease?
I don't know. I feel like it's getting worse.
Worse? Oh. Well, I mean, we can try and find some books on perhaps.
I just don't want to be.
Fair enough. Well, that is a problem for a day. Let us talk about it again once we get back in town. Are you good to go? You got a headache?
Then kind of like looks around a little bit on his back and starts to like groan and try and push himself up. I don't know.
Art's now like less alarmed, is like looking around the insides of the cabin for the contents of it other than the furs and stuff that are going. I tossed you a small packet of like leaves and stuff. Like, chew on that. That'll help alleviate any of the head pressure or sinuses or anything.
This, the cabin of this cart is pretty bare, basically empty. The gear that the goblins are wearing and using is kind of in such a state of disrepair that they're not particularly useful. The same with Goblin gear, yeah. The same with the furs that are hanging up. They're like rotten and they have some kind of like crusty material on them. Not really sure what exactly it is, but we'll leave that up to the imagination. And the goblins, however, do each have a kind of like sealskin pouch that has 4 copper in it on their person. And a little bit more examination, you do find that the other goblins up around the cart, each of them has a sealskin pouch with 4 copper.
Can you line the bodies up and get these 2 out of the cart?
I just like the idea of like this band of goblins who have this like pretty like a nice cart driven by polar bears and are like relatively organized, this like goblin boss, but yet they're so dirt poor. They got 4 copper to their name each.
I mean, like, they just got a pretty good haul of iron ingots.
Yeah,
that would sell pretty well.
I love it. It's so goblin.
So goblin.
Look at all these shiny things I have. I don't have any money, but I have all these shiny things that I have.
I ask Art, not I ask myself, I ask Latin to take the bodies out of here and put them with the others, and that Neela's probably going to want to do something about them. And I begin using my lack of strengths to start removing all the rotten stuff from inside here. And I also mentioned, by the way, you're good with animals, right? Could you perhaps see about those polar bears? I think Neela tried to brush up against them, and I heard some angry noises, so we might have... I don't know, just go see what you can find out.
Just tell me what you're doing first.
I think the first thing that I'm doing is sitting up and leaning up against the inside of the cart for a bit to catch my breath.
How far in the loading?
You have probably made like 1 or 2 trips. There's a lot of ingots. There's like 300 ingots.
Can I pull the other cart up to this cart closer?
Yeah, it would take a little bit of effort, but yeah, you can do it.
Right.
You are a large, strong person.
I do that.
Question, you said this was made out of wood?
Yes.
Is there... Okay. Is there any, like, iron banding or wood in here that would serve as like a makeshift repair plank?
There's some like spare wood bits in and around the area. You see, there's actually kind of this like large hole up here. A lot of that whole wood is like just broken and on like scattered on the ground.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a double decker with a rooftop.
Yeah.
And I took the ladder up to the rooftop earlier.
Think of it more kind of like a siege tower.
Okay,
Where
so
there's not really any material, there's not really any substance inside. It's just a hollow box, and then there's the roof and the.
Okay.
So it's not.
It happens to be 2 stories tall, but
Yeah. So this is a lot larger than what would conventionally be needed for. But is there like a hammer and fasteners around here, like nails or anything?
give me an investigation check as you kind of search around here.
I'm in the process of this. I'm taking like the rotten stuff and very. And I've like tossed it out into. Listen, it's refuse. I got a 23 on the investigation.
The 23, yeah, you do find. You recall actually up on the roof area. You skitter back up there, and there's a like hammer and nails area. It looks like someone was about to start like repairs on that opening.
Is there an internal ladder that goes?
Yeah, there's an internal ladder that goes up the trapdoor.
Whenever you throw something out onto the snow, I throw it onto the top of the cart.
No.
Art?
No.
Picking
I'm not
those
throwing out
toys up,
useful stuff.
you can tell they're pretty disgusting.
It's like diarrhea mixed in with all the fur that's also old. They didn't treat it. It's not tanned. It's disgusting. You will catch something foul if you exist around that.
Just all the magic people do.
I take out a torch. This thing? I'm about to do this thing. I'm going to make a trash heap and I'm going to burn it.
Just make it better.
No.
I just do that all the time. It's the only magic that I'm familiar with.
I take my hand and I reach up at the torch, and then I just, as I'm putting the torch next to it, I just throw my hand and the flames spread over the trash heap. And then I snuff out the torch.
Cast out the flame onto the trash heap. Were you going to do the polar bear thing?
I think
Or what were you-
after I rest for a little bit, I'm going to do the step 1, which is take the bodies out of the cart.
Okay.
Do not throw those bodies onto the fire.
I do not throw the bodies onto the fire.
At least keep one. We can
Oh,
just
yeah.
tie the rope and we can drag it at the bottom of the cart. We don't have to
We can be a little.
Just 2 bodies inside. I just
2
dragged
bodies
them out through the hole that was made and onto the
Wait.
ground next to the cart.
What-
Onto the snow.
What's all this made out of? Is that also wood?
Yeah, that's a cart made out of wood and metal bearings and stuff like that. Metal bindings.
I grab like a loose rope and I start tying goblin bodies together.
Okay.
And I start fastening them to the back of the cart to
Okay.
be dragged.
That is going to be absolutely atrocious and disgusting, and I ask that you don't do that.
I told you
No,
not
listen,
to.
Okay. So,
It's fun.
please, no, that's fine. That's fine. We don't have to mutilate the corpses. Okay. What does the back of this
Well,
cart look
just
like?
Then why does it matter?
My sanity? I don't want to see gore for miles
Do you
behind
want to-
us.
Stuff.
No, that's not it. You can preserve the bodies. You can just not mutilate them in the process. Wait, you want good jewelry? You will mangle them. You'll lose pieces of them with the way that you currently have them fastened.
Well, let's put them on top of the back of the
How
cart.
many do you want?
Well, how much does it take to make like a belt?
Latin steps out of the hole. Art, what else did you want? Sorry.
The polar bears. They seem to be a little bit aggressive. If you can safely calm them down, I don't know if you can. Feel free to say no, but
I don't know.
you want to try? Just don't let them bite you.
Step out into the snow and walk towards the front of the cart.
Go ahead and give me an animal handling check as you approach the angry polar bears.
I got a 10.
A 10. You still have kind of some of the particular stank, musk, if you will, of the cart being in there for a decent amount of time, calming down and everything. On you, the polar bears immediately, you see them sniffing the air and then whipping around at you and taking a hostile stance towards you. Was there
Shrug.
kind of begging you to come closer and give them a taste?
Okay. Guess we need to have a conversation. What are we doing? Are we taking this... now that we're on the inside of this war cart, there's literally a busted out hole above it.
Yep.
We've murdered the heck out of 2 side entry points that aren't supposed to be entry points.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can move is there like a whip at the top?
Apart from from your kind of assessment and readjusting the situation here, apart from the fact that this cart has polar bears that are pulling it, the other cart is just infinitely better. It's actually just a fully functional cart. It took 6 goblins to move it just because of how heavy it was, but it is just a cart designed to be transporting iron ingots, but doesn't have anything attached to the front.
That's what the dwarves were carrying around.
Yeah, but this is a thing that could provide, shelter as we're traversing.
Potentially, yes.
Well, I mean, shelter as it is currently in a very dilapidated state.
Right, yeah. There's not too much difference between inside and outside unless you're trying to cuddle up with some furs.
Well, and that was the whole thing. Could we seal it up enough that we put furs in front of it? Does it look to the point of repairing it, or does a repair job in this look like completely taking it down plank by plank and replacing it with new wood?
Excuse me. I thought I put this on silent. The doing meaningful. It is on silent. Doing meaningful repairs to this would definitely be a bring it back to a shop, spend a little bit of time getting it working again. If you would like, I could teach you a very nifty way of temporarily warming up furs. But
I've already done that outside.
It might not. It might lead to more of the kind of musk, if you will.
I don't. So I've spent some time going in around town and blacksmithies and stuff like that. How, and we know that wood is sparse, right? It's
fairly, yeah.
There is a giant, lonely wood forest area.
There are forested areas.
Oh, okay. I thought wood was extremely, extremely hard and valuable to come by in the sense of they either was very localized commodity trade or...
Yeah, Lonely Wood definitely provides enough wood to supply. There's other wooded areas. There's one near Goodmead and stuff like that. So timber itself isn't the most scarce thing.
Okay. So we're not standing in a gold mine of worthless stuff. This is just kind of
you're standing in a cart with some large holes in it.
And 2 polar bears.
Not in it.
Angry polar bear.
Okay. Yeah, now our letting the battle shock wear off is just this is just actually a pile of shit. No.
Literally in some cases.
Yeah, literally. Hey, guy, do we even need this? We could just set the polar bears free and get the cart home, back to town. It's just Art just rambling and just says it out loud as he goes in the middle of transferring the ingots over.
Oh no!
We gotta get the cart back.
As Neela starts reloading the dwarven make cart.
I'm sorry. We just got caught up in the moment. Look at this thing. I thought it was, and it's not. And I started looking at everything. This thing's barely standing together. I push on one of the, pieces of wood that you guys were next to attacking. What are squirrels? You hear?
No, there's got to be chubby, cute squirrels somewhere.
Yeah,
giant demonic squirrels.
Okay. So what?
Saving. That's why you kept saving.
What else do we know? There's goblins, and they were headed in. And I look at the front of the cart. That direction. Where does that generally point to? What direction is that? South?
Great question. They are indeed facing a specific direction. And I can tell you that in just a moment.
They are headed. $140. They're headed to the south.
Okay.
Southwest.
Is there anything on the map in that direction, or just?
From where you are, they're angled way to where they would cross the east way, but that's kind of the only kind of gist that you can get. We know the Eastway Highway is to the south of you guys.
Yeah, we knew that there was goblins taking residence below the Eastway Highway from the reports because they were being attacked from the east gate. We went north, east of the town, and that's when we had the deduction that. When we were dealing with goblins and so on.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit too long. I have a smaller one somewhere. Excuse me. And it is right here. So yeah, they're headed mostly south with a slight bend towards the southwest, westerly. There we go. We will cover our shame a little bit. You guys are currently kind of northeast of Bryn Shander, and it's mostly they're facing towards the south. Okay. So, what would you all like to do? You're currently loading up the dwarven cart.
No, it's not very, it would take me like 10 minutes for one ingot.
As the smell of blood and continued rustling around in the cart, these polar bears are getting increasingly restless as time goes on.
I help with the ingot.
Yeah.
I attempt to approach the polar bears,
Okay, give me an animal handling.
seeing if the amount of time has let them calm down. I approach from their front instead of from their behind, and I'd like take a very large pathway to their front.
Okay. Yeah.
What is it, Hila?
Before we let them go or do anything, we need to be prepped. They seemed quite fighty earlier.
Wait, what if they're hungry? We could feed them a goblin. There's 8 of them.
I just want one, maybe 2.
Okay. One of you would help me. And
Aladdin grimaces.
this is just food.
You don't need. I've got it, and I just toss 4 of the goblin bodies in front of the polar bears.
Okay. Go ahead and Art, give me an animal handling check still, as you guys are chucking.
19.
These.
I'm not good at these.
You got a what? Sorry,
19.
that's pretty good.
I have a +4.
The polar bears. The tossing of the goblins in front of them seems to have done the trick. These polar bears are, in fact, very, very starved and poorly taken care of, and also have a particular disdain for goblins currently in their current lives. And so they absolutely voraciously dig into these goblins, and they seem distracted enough by the proverbial feast in front of them that they don't notice anything that's happening around them if you start approaching or anything like that. As long as you don't stick your hand in front of their mouth.
Yeah. Is there vegetation nearby?
Is
it just all desolate?
Out here, no.
Okay.
Not current.
Well, they were hungry. I'm not sure what that did for us, though.
Well, it's just time to get away if we toss them the rest of them.
Lisa, we're not going to leave these guys chained up, right? We'll pick their traps.
We could unchain them. Toss the rest of the goblins except for like one, and then unchain them, and they should be.
It looked like the ropes that they were tied to were potentially something that could just be cut.
Yeah, they're like thick leather straps, basically, that they're tied up with.
Does it look like
They have harnesses on the actual bears.
Right. Does it look like there's hitching that could get them on the smaller cart? Is it? Well, I don't understand. Like that was a 15 by 10 foot.
The smaller cart is made to be pulled by people, by dwarves. So you could rig some kind of hitching that would help in the situation, but it would involve a lot of like time and cooperation with the enemy.
I think it would probably be like hooking a Great Dane to a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, something
Like you could
that.
get it to work, but you really have to have a lot of trust with that Great Dane.
I don't know if anybody's ever tried to walk a dog while being on a bike before.
Now, if the Great Dane was rabid and trying to kill you at the same time, that would make it a lot more difficult to do. Though still technically possible.
Particular Great Danes continue
Yeah, I think if
crunching
they're
goblin bones.
they're eating on the goblins, then we can just the leather strap they might not even, it might take them a while to even notice that they're not hitched up anymore.
So we've loaded up the rest of the ingots, right?
Yep. Your ingots are back in the original
We've
cart.
already searched the cart.
Mhm.
I take one goblin body,
Okay.
put it on the cart,
Okay.
our cart.
Toss it on top of the ingot cart.
Yeah, it's not on top of it. I just put
That's
it
kind of the
at
only spot that it can be.
at the end, just so it's.
With my animal handling check, noticing like that they're engorged in their feast,
Mhm.
I very timidly approach like to their side, not their flank, and if they completely just think I'm invisible, then I will work on cutting off their actual harness and not just the straps.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a stealth check just to be sure.
I am good at these, so therefore I suck. 9.
A 9? That's still fine. It was a relatively easy check because they're so distracted here.
It's wild how that work like that, though.
I feel it today.
Sometimes it do be like that. But yeah, you can manage to sneak up enough. You probably have like one or two moments of them, like as they're kind of chomping down, they like snap over at you, and you jump back a little bit, but you do manage to get the harnesses cut off of them, so they'll no longer be hindered by those out in the wild.
Saving the turtles, man.
And I imagine me and Neela kind of have to work together to move this cart.
Yes. Yeah, this is a very heavy cart, a total of like 600 pounds.
I'm
So
talking
easy
about
for
our
600.
ways.
Yeah, which is also dragging it through snow. Although the cart is partially designed to be pulled through snow.
I can help with that part. I get to the front with my torches, and I just control flame, and I melt the snow in front of us
Okay.
for treads.
Some snow melting in front. You guys
Maybe
can...
like in the areas where it's like more difficult to get over, you
Yeah.
can kind of like whip it out for some assistance.
I can melt thin layers of ice to get it back to gravelly purchase so it keeps pulling.
I do want you to know that if it's assuming that it's like cart and post, and then we're pushing the post at the end like this. You do constantly get a ping of me like over pushing. Like I go through like push, but I get through these like moods where I'm not talking and I'll just like push really, really, really hard.
Like when you're
Rowing
in a kayak and the one person's kayaking too hard.
Yeah, just know that is repeatedly happening. It's very noticeable.
Okay.
Fair. With that, we're going to go to a quick break as you guys make your way, pulling this cart back to Bryn Shander to deliver to some potentially very thankful dwarves. We will have a brief little 15-minute break. We'll be back just after 3 o'clock, and we will see y'all in a moment.
See you soon.
Peace. And we are back. Hello.
You're killing the vibes.
I learned that my emotional support Yeti Mini can perfectly hold a D20 in his cute little hand. Look at that.
Cute.
Isn't that nice?
I
Like holding a little football.
am still consistently concerned that emotional support Yeti is not actually there for emotional support at all. And
I don't know.
they're to be sprung on us at any given moment.
You guys are headed back through the Arctic.
When
And,
blizzard.
This is probably pretty close to being the furthest off the beaten path of the 10 towns that you guys have ever been. This kind of area that you're in is considered one of the safer areas as far as like being out in the tundra goes. Because you're kind of surrounded on all sides by civilization. You have the Dwarven Valley to the north, you have Bryn Shander, East Haven to the south. So you guys are, this is kind of the most controlled wilderness that you can be in. Just a moment. You've survived the Yeti attack.
Wolves.
So, you guys managed to drag this cart back to Bryn Shander, no problem.
Which sucked, by the way. About how long do we drag it for?
Because there are multiple of you dragging the cart, your speed is not reduced to 5 feet per round, which is nice. You can drag this cart at a reasonable pace. You guys traveled about an hour to get here. It's probably about 2 hours to get back with the cart.
Man, that sucks for people having to pull a cart.
It is grueling work for sure, but
Land's pretty eyes down. Work at the pushing.
Are you going to explain yourself?
I don't know.
Don't know if you're going to explain yourself.
I don't know what happened.
You've been bitten recently.
And you see a little bit of like concentration plus frustration plus a little bit of anger in Latin's face, which Latin doesn't really express anger very often, except for in like these kind of certain circumstances when we're in combat, and then like that one time with the 1 or 2 times with the various tiefling people that we've met so far. But it must have been that damn fishing company and the druid. They must have hired the druid to put a curse on me.
Art just like looking around, talking like, see, not a crag cat bite.
Do you believe in curses?
Yeah, I guess.
Are you religious? I thought that you said you weren't. So you don't believe in that?
I don't understand.
Art like turns around and stops the whole torching thing for a little bit and says, I can help out a little bit with this part. And he just like slings his pack over and pulls out a book on like the arcane and flips over a book. Curses are real. You can bestow curses. It's like it's an actual thing. You probably can't read much of it. It uses a lot of filthy jargon, but you can see curse language here. And then like
So is that like is it a curse and then you like
no.
you have to make people eat that page or you
No.
read what's on it and then it makes it happen?
So that's really just like a tome of knowledge. It just brings awareness to the situation. The actual art of like converting that into some magical script of the arcane that you can then study and bring to life using magical essence and bestowing upon somebody is completely different. No, you don't. You do have to have the.
Believe them being blessed, right?
No, it's not like that. It's kind of like. Oh, this is probably a bad analogy, but oxygen. Like you have to breathe in the air.
All right.
Whether or not you choose to believe that there's oxygen in the atmosphere, let's say you don't know anything about science or the elements, you still breathe and exist. We have found a way to quantify that in some way.
So you're saying that
Curses exist whether or not you believe in them.
you could be blessed by something evil.
That is an astute observation, sure. I like that.
Did you deserve it?
Well, that's not very nice.
Well, you don't typically go around blessing people unless...
Most people don't typically go around cursing people either, whether or not they deserve it.
Curse. Did you deserve to get cursed? What did you do?
I mean, what are the fishing
Did
companies?
you do that to somebody's, like,
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Whatever this is new.
Why do you think the fishing company would have anything to do with it then?
They have everything to fucking do with everything.
Well, here, I'm not sure that blundering pamphlet handing out person is responsible
You're
for...
from Lonelywood, right? You're probably not talking about the fishing company that we found in Bremen.
No.
It's just... Oh, yeah, oh, they're not all the same. Yeah. But aren't they all the same?
Nope. No, I don't think they are. I think they're different fishing companies. Remember, the ones from Bremen were being attacked by Genti.
Oh.
No, that's not
They
true.
wouldn't be... Are they holy fishermen? Do they like pray and then the fish just flop out?
No, you're reaching. Where are you going with this?
That we ran into. They seem to drag their boats across the ice, drop the boats into the water, throw the thing out and they have to bait it. They're not sitting there saying, please, Lord, give me some fish.
That's not how curses work either.
Please, Lord, curse me with some fish.
That's not what a curse tries to do. Why would you think that a fishing company would try and curse you? How would they have, to her point, any kind of person who would enact magical...
Please, don't give him any fish.
Maybe they must hired that druid.
What?
I mean, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's the same druid, but
Did you meet a druid? Or you just supposed?
And they've turned you into a werebear.
how else?
Have you been taking lessons from Lynn? Where are we making that jump? How did you get from that? Like, why would you think that they would do that?
Do you think they want to turn you into a polar bear and then have you pull a cart?
I don't know what they want. Other than control of all the lakes and the dales.
Do you own a lake? Do you own, like, the house on the lake? Maybe they want your house. So they can fish out of it, or prey out of it.
No. I don't.
Why a bear? Did you feel like a bear?
Maybe it had something to do with the dream.
The illness, the sickness, illness, seizure you had. You think that has to... Someone prayed that you would get sick and it would turn you into a bear?
I don't know how all this works.
And you think that they made him eat a piece of paper? Have you eaten paper recently?
Can you not? That's not how magic works. You've been listening to me. You actually listen. That is not how magic works. You see me burning pieces of paper when I take the fire
I see you
out?
burning everything. You lit all of those furs on fire.
I lit some trash on fire, yes. And that's the one time you've seen me use fire in that way. Everything else has been lighting bonfires.
You also... I was just thinking it and I said it out loud and I was like, oh, we should do the fire. And then all of a sudden you came and you said something. Did you? And you put it out.
Put it out is, yeah, we can all put it out. I took the heat from the torch and the flame can't exist without
Where
it.
did you put it?
I dispersed it with magic.
It's not dangerous. Wouldn't it hurt
Oh
something?
no, that tiny amount of fire goes into the atmosphere. You would have felt like a warming sensation near the torch, but that's about it.
Guarantee you I did not.
I know you didn't.
Warming
It doesn't matter.
sensation.
If you can't cure me, then I'll take care of it.
This lady. I've got some herbs. I got some herbs from her. Maybe you could try it. This evening. It's like a sleepy medicine. It's not even a medicine. It's like medicinal. It's like a blessing.
No, this was a mistake. I'll take care of it.
No, it's not a mistake. We're just not knowledgeable. We can help.
I'm not an expert in werebears, but I can be. Well, art can be.
I mean, we can ask around. I'm sure that there's somebody that can point us in the direction of some knowledge.
Don't worry, Latin. If you get out of control, I'll take care of you myself.
When you were in that form, could you hear or understand? You said you couldn't remember anything, but now that there's been some time, can you?
I could remember. I could see. I just didn't remember. I didn't really know what was going on. But I'll figure it out. I'll get it on.
Swapping it out.
Yeah.
You remember that? That's good.
Find something that brings you comfort, and then just try and hold on to that the next time it happens. Let's just see what happens.
Feeling overly angry. I think of my reasons to be angry. It helps. Hold on to the anger.
I can do that.
No, hold on to the anger. Wait, that seems scary. Don't you want him to not be angry?
No, the anger drives you to be stronger.
He
Allows
needs-
you to focus.
No, he is very strong. He needs to learn to control it.
I don't think he's very strong.
If
I
you,
mean, not to like insult you, but like this is like
You're both pulling the same card. Don't get ahead of yourself.
one of us is pushing a little bit harder.
Yeah, one of us can learn a little bit more control without having rage transformations.
if you hold on to it, then it can't get away from you.
Unless it consumes you.
You think if he became a bear, he could eat himself?
You struggle with
Intelligence, yeah.
No, not that. That's not what I'm saying. You struggle with things that are not physically present. Abstract concepts.
Do you have an example?
Rage consumption. It's not. You can't see.
That's such a good line.
It's such a good lie.
There's my art. They call it.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you got something in your throat? Are you eating a goblin?
Yes. No. Do you have an example? I'll pull it. I will. I'm Scottish. The Scottish helps calm me down. Do you have an example?
Well, no. It's something that you can't see. Like, literally.
Jen.
Example, it's so. Like, the rage isn't Latin. Like, Latin is Latin. Yeah. So the transformation that you saw, in part due to the emotion, he wouldn't consume himself as. That's not what I meant by the rage consuming him.
So you're saying that the emotion would quote unquote be eating him alive?
No, it wouldn't be eating him alive. I said that, like, the rage transformation consumes him. Like, he's giving into the emotions of the rage more than he was before. Because we've seen him rage before. He's never done anything like that.
Devil.
Oh my gosh. No, he's not like a devil. You really have this thing with religion.
No, just
Yeah,
but
so,
if you're saying that if this curse, if this magic, this druid, he cast this thing on you, and it's emotional, I don't quite get it, but I support you, and I believe that you can beat it or learn to use it to your advantage. When life gives you I'm not sure it's a strength, but strength, you just make that thing stronger. That bear claw is kind of it was nice.
Yeah, we just need to understand. It's the first time that that's happened to you, right?
Does.
Weird. Has that happened to you before?
No.
You said it was new. Yeah. Just, it might not even be something to be fearful of. Just try and think if you can find a way to harness it and make it yours. You are growing more powerful. I think we all are.
The first kind of breath weapon experience that I had, I was also very upset. And it just came naturally.
Like, out of a hiccup?
Like a and it just like came, and I was like, I'm sorry. And then
did you get anybody with it?
My dad was quite pissed. If he had eyebrows, they would have been gone. But I learned it's not actually tied to my emotions at all. It's just something physical. But it seems like this might be tied to your the things that you can't see.
I don't want to learn to live with it. I want it to be gone.
Okay, I mean, again, we can ask around. Well,
no, it's fine. I'll take care.
Well, if we see something along the way that helps us, I mean, maybe we can find one of those tribes, or of them being rather taken over by rages. Maybe they have some information about it.
It's a rage, like a hatchling fit.
It's more complicated than that, but that's the foundation piece.
We should
Do
take.
you rage?
No. Well, when I rage, I don't get stronger and more hulking, massive, and can punch holes through wagons.
Eat from the car.
No, I don't. That isn't even rage. Why are you bringing that up?
I'm just saying it was quite noticeable. In
It's
mid-combat, you ran 50 feet away.
I froze them to the ground, and they could not move. And then I got out of there.
Did you?
I was trying to get them to come after me because I just attacked
They
them.
couldn't.
Well, they would have to help free each other. They could have done it. I did. I just made it difficult for them to do. It's tactical, okay?
It's tactical, but
I
it
don't-
also takes courage. You need to build up your courage.
I was not courageous about attacking a cart full of goblins. I took on half of them on one side. You ran to help him.
What noticeably? He was extra furry.
Sure.
Maybe
Let's just say that my side was a little bit more courageous because I did it all by myself. Ah, checkmate. All right, let's on back to town.
So, take the side of a cart all by myself. But I can't promise that.
Yeah, they were just goblins. They're really weak.
Really, it's not doable.
All right.
I go back to flame casting.
Yes, you guys resume your. Go ahead.
Will you please try the sleepy tea this evening?
Sure. Anything?
Well, it was quite a cute lady.
We'll go back to town.
Oh,
Yes, you guys finish your couple hours journeying back to town. The gates allow you in with no major harm. The one of the guards kind of eyes the goblin that you have strapped to the back of the iron cart a little bit, like prods it to make sure that you're not like literally smuggling a living goblin into town. And just like
The bloody entrails probably help with that a bit.
he's just like, you guys, you can go. You can go in. Good on you.
Good on you.
Seems a little bit noticeably shook. You guys can make your way into the town.
There's nothing on you.
The dwarves had told you that they would meet you at the Black Iron Blades if that's where you wish to go.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, so he's blessing us like
No, it's not.
People, I don't want to end up fairy.
You really have a thing with religion. You keep saying that you don't, but you do. Everything leads back to religion with you.
Or is it magical? There's no religious context.
There's no magic in context to that either. No. Nope, those are just words. That's a phrase.
Why does it have significance? Good on you.
As you guys lug this large cart through the town, you see a decent number of people. As you guys remember, Bryn Shander is one of the more crowded locations. As you guys are also coming in through the north gate, you pass by the inn and stuff. Making your way to Black Iron Blades, you see that currently, as you enter, they've actually set up they've cleared off one of the tables that formerly had like adventuring gear on them, and they're kind of playing cards. The two dwarves kind of catching up with some, seemingly talking like they're catching up with old friends. You see the dwarves that you had previously met are now bandaged up. One of them has face coverings that are covering his entire face because you would remember that his entire nose was frostbitten.
Are just face palms. Hey guys, goblins didn't attack the dwarves. It was a Yeti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our goal was to get the card.
That's true. That's true. I didn't see a Yeti though.
He was busy holding the D20.
Are you saying he was the ending? Oh,
I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit. It's not gonna hurt you because I'm weak as hell. But I'm gonna hit you.
It was that period of time that he wasn't with the party. As you guys move in, you can see there are drinks being had. They're playing a game of cards. Runa kind of peeks up, a bandage over her eye, and her entire hand is kind of encased in wrappings. It's like, hey, You guys made it back.
We did.
That's what? Did you get, kind of like tries to lean over to look past you outside the door that's already swinging closed. Did you find the iron?
We did. And get your card back.
That's fantastic. And now kind of pats the dwarf who runs the shop. Sorry, his name is
Garn?
Battlehammer, or Garn the Hammer. That's it. These guys are Battlehammers. He is not. And pats him on the chest. And like, see, you'll be improving your blades in no time. And the others kind of laugh. And the one of the dwarves, the more sullen one, now that they're none of them are wearing any of their winter gear anymore. You see, all of the Battlehammer dwarves have long bushy beards, apart from Runa, who is a female, but they all have black hair, large noses, and general kind of dwarven style attire. Very, very traditionally dressed as far as dwarves go. Battlehammers kind of pride themselves on their clan more than a lot of other some other dwarf clans, especially in the north here. But one of them, who you recognize as Storn, who isn't the incredibly quiet one, but is the kind of more jittery one, kind of gets up and walks over past you guys a little bit to one of the windows. Looks up at the window. He notices you and he's like, "Have you seen any dragons?"
Have you seen any rocks?
What would I be scared of a bird for? The dragons you gotta watch out for. Didn't see any though.
I haven't seen any in my lifetime, but I will kill one.
Door. Looks up, and he kind of like he kind of does a very specific equivalent of like imagine someone just randomly knocking on wood sort of thing. He kind of draws a triangle in the bottom of one of the window panes, and just hope you don't see any big ones. Fucking things are vicious. And he walks back over to the to the card game and picks up his drink. Runa is currently getting on some winter clothes to go inspect the cart to see if there is any damage. And oh, did you find Ubuk?
Before I walk back to the group, I whisper to the sky, I hold back.
He kind of nervous chuckle. He is very, very anxious and very terrified of the existence of dragons in general. Did you all find Ubuk? He was there with the cart, probably.
We did, right? From a meta perspective, I'm pretty sure when
Yes,
we
you
first
did.
we got to the scene of the crop.
You had found a dwarven corpse that was all of his internal organs were gone and his head was gone and chomped straight through.
Very
daddy like a sack.
Did we get anything from it? I thought
You picked up his pick.
Yes. I pull out the pick. This is what
Here's the pick
remains.
that I picked.
He was a good man, but always stuck around a little too long in conversation, if you know what I
Go to leave.
mean. But regardless, if you all brought the iron, and that's actually fantastic. We our reward, as discussed. Let's see. Pulls out a sack and pulls out 3 gemstones. There's one kind of like a a blue tint and one that's green and one that's a ruby, and hands them to you of various size and cuts. And each of them, you guys can kind of tell that they're worth about 50 gold pieces, and that's what Runa had originally offered you. Here you go, and here you go, and here you go.
No.
And Garn kind of looks up and is like, "Aye, we do appreciate it. I know that my blades don't have the best reputation in the Dales, but this iron shipment should actually improve the quality quite a bit. If you ever have need, we'd be happy to give you a discount here."
Very well. Thank you.
And if you ever have extra need, the 2-for-1 sale does last until the end of the month.
Yeah. There it is.
And you see his sister just like kind of half buries her hands in her head in her hand. You can tell she's kind of red in the ear currently. Had a little bit more to drink than the other ones, and she's like, "Yes, 2-for-1 sale," and kind of leans back in her chair. We appreciate you all greatly. What were your names again?
I'm Neela.
Neela. Lovely to meet you. She goes,
Your hands are quite warm.
it points over at the forge that's in the building. It keeps things nice and toasty.
Not very, She might be drunk.
Really, really big hand for a dwarf.
It kind of does her best. She's not much of a like heavy gripper.
Lan's not a heavy gripper either. She's just got a big ass.
Lan, say, are you all the ones that help with the lake monster? I heard about that. You guys came from that direction, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
In Bremen?
Yeah, Bremen, right? One of the other dwarves kind of nods at her. And like, I hadn't heard about that. That's mighty impressive. You folks are doing good work.
It's a small favor for some new friends. It's kind of our shtick at this point. Feel like every little thing we do up here in the north, we make new friends.
People need friends nearly as badly as they need help, and she raises the flagon and takes a big chug.
I know this one. I pick up someone else's glass.
You probably pick up Corix's glass, who it just has like a permanent 1,000-yard stare. Like he kind of like jolts at you picking up his glass, and then just like watches you drink it, and then she raises her glass and
Cheers for the tears.
cheers for the cheers. Yeah, and they all raise their glasses.
Cheers. Cheers. Oops, sorry.
And they begin to work back into their card game. Do you all want dealt in? We have a little bit more ale. No good mead, sadly. There's no shipments this week.
No. Nah. We'll pass. Thank you. Thank you for the hospitality.
No problem. And then Runa's just like, you'd probably lose all your gold to Corix anyway. The man's got a hell of a poker face, and he's just like 1,000 yards staring. Very clearly traumatized, man.
Is he even, or do you play for him?
Question, Gran. Do you know anyone who does that knucklehead trout carvings?
A Scrimshander? I don't really mess with them too much. I don't know any personally.
Or any wood carvers? Anyone who's artistic can do?
You have better luck maybe around one of the lakes, or if you're looking for a wood carver, probably up in Lonelywood.
So, 1 second. I run out and I grab this goblin by the skull, and it's like just dangling in my meat paws, and I'm like, I want this, but like on like a belt or like a pouch or necklace, just like. But like I think it'll be quite hard because I think I can crack it, but I just don't know how to.
You
do
hear
it.
thuds, but in this reality, there's squishing happening of profuse nature.
I don't know. You might, if you find any like barbarian types, they might. I don't know anyone who works with mostly intact goblin.
I've seen like in like picture books when I was a kid that the
Art's seen enough mutilation that you just kind of like walks away.
it's not normal. I thought this was normal.
I mean, if you're looking to like mount some teeth or something, but normally you would.
Hey, look at this little mouth.
You seem proud of
It's
the.
not even.
If you're particularly proud of the kill or whatever,
Might as well have like little bitty rabbit teeth. I wanted its whole skull. Like just on the pouch.
you know, I might be able to help you a little bit. Here, let me. If you give me a day and come back later, I'll see what.
Really?
Yeah, it's the least I can do. Kind of like is holding the goblin and walks over to the forge area and starts to set it down somewhere and is like,
Yeets it in the forge.
Take the skull and fill the skull with molten iron as like a mold, and then make a metal goblin skull cup.
Honestly, anything that I can what's the word? Brandish?
Art is not around. He is. It's too much for him.
Do you know that art would use? Lavish, brandish, bearish, or something I can strap to myself.
Will do. Battle trophy. I think I can take something out.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. As you guys make your way back into the town, you guys can. I will make a note in my notes, but if you want to make a note in your notes as well, you guys received 3 gems that were worth 50 gold pieces each, and you will have a 10% discount on any goods that you buy in the shop or in Black Iron Blades.
Nice. Has enough time passed perhaps have a short rest?
Yes, you can.
We'll use Arcane Recovery.
You can pull off a short rest as you walk
Around
along
what
the
time
road,
of
please.
day is it?
Currently, it's probably. You guys spent a little bit of time kind of getting to Bryn Shander today, if I remember correctly. So it's probably mid-evening. It's not too far along in the day. You guys probably left around what would be lunchtime.
What's our next job?
Well, I mean, there's still the Yeti. There's also, we could go where the cart was headed. Find those goblins. There's still the leader that got away.
I thought no one was paying for dead goblins.
They might have treasures. No, we're seeking to become stronger. Would not destroying a den of goblins be something glorious for you? Also, can I backtrack a little bit to the cart situation? I cut the straps on the polar bears. Did they eventually leave?
You guys would have left before they left, unless you were specifically waiting around for the polar bears to leave.
No. I want to make sure
The
that
polar bears would have been busy there for another
I
reasonable
wouldn't
chunk of
have
time.
left the situation where I would have double checked to make sure that there was nothing holding them back. That they could have left as soon as they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then I would have sabotaged the wheels on the wagon.
Okay.
Since we weren't taking it.
Yeah, you can do that just fine. There is now a shoddy shack out in the tunnel, so you guys know the location of.
With a fire pit.
With a fire pit.
That'll be snowed over soon.
Yeah, so you guys, as you're kind of making your way back through the town area, it's kind of getting a little bit towards the later part of day. You guys are actually greeted by a person who is wearing bright colors of the kind of like Brynshander colors, has a large shield that bears the Brynshander the crest on it. He moves up towards you guys and kind of removes his hat in kind of the polite thing to do, although it's very uncomfortable, is to show a little bit of your face so that people see you as they're meeting.
Pull the curtain back a little
You
bit.
see a dark-skinned man with no hair on his head, kind of a graying goatee. And is, "Hail, I'm Sheriff Markham Southwell. Sorry, I heard you all have been doing some good deeds in the towns."
Wow, word travels fast.
Well, certainly. Seems you guys have a rather talkative bard up at the Northlook who's been singing your praises.
Right. Yeah, and so Art removes some of his furs very quickly and like, and then gets back underneath them.
And he refixes his hood as well. You can tell just by looking at his furred clothes that he's wearing some kind of like medium to heavy armor underneath.
Just in case we attack.
What the board, message board was saying about you, but you must be Southwell?
Yeah, that's me. Actually, if you all don't mind, the speaker was seeking an audience. If you
I love
Speaker Duvesta.
I think Button agreed to. So
Oh, this is different.
I forgot
speaker.
that.
this is not excellent.
I also need like a mute button.
I have one, but it mutes both of us.
Meeting speaker. That would be quite the honor.
Oh, please come with me. Just to the south. Where's my
Where did I leave the speaker at?
Arms and bodies and faces are flecked with bits of goblin blood and
Speaker.
the smell
Yeah,
of
as you guys.
sweat as we
Yeah.
drag this heavy cart across the snow.
I do make like, hey, I at some point would like to get back to the inn to freshen up. Use perhaps a little bit of soap, wash up, the gore and
We could. It's unless it's urgent in the dead of night.
Oh, nothing too urgent. I think she's just wanting to meet you all.
Would she mind waiting a little bit for us to clean ourselves up and be
Feel free.
presentable?
We'll be we're in the town hall, just right across from the smithy. It's just on the other side of the you see the marked building on the other side of the like clearing town center area.
Perfect. We will be over there in due time.
Well met. And he moves off towards the south where that is.
I just want to mention, those were some of the worst short rest 8 hit dice healing rolls I think I've ever rolled. On 3d12, I got a 2, a 1, and a 3. Which was enough to get me back to full HP, but dang was it close.
You rolled 3d8 earlier and got a 2 and a 1 and a 3, so
That's rolling a 1 and a d12 hurts.
That's the life of a barbarian. You guys make your way back up to the Northlook. You can you have your rooms, and it has some general washrooms that you guys can get cleaned up a little bit, and take some time to get everything resituated for yourselves.
On the way back, I'd like to hit up the apothecary before hitting in and see if they have any fragrancy herbs to like help out with the soap situation.
The apothecary. Let me see.
Or general store, since we were just there. Next time.
Yeah, actually, at the general store they do have some.
We do short
10%
rest.
off.
Yes, you can short rest.
Okay. Two.
Yeah, the general store actually does have some, and she can sell it to you at a pretty reasonable price.
Is it like scented other than fish scent?
Yes, they have some nice scents. They have some lavender and some that is. They actually she's a little bit dodgy at first about what the exact smell, what the scent comes from, but tells you that it is. I have to look up what this thing is called.
I was like, Eva, does this smell better, or does this smell better?
Oh,
And then right as you're doing that, it's like, does this smell better? It's like a lavender, and then, or does this smell better? And she's like, powder puff. That's what it's called.
Who's cutting?
That's the thing that makes it. I'm not. That was a little. I wouldn't put that one on.
You recall powder puff being the
The
poisonous
poison.
herb that's local to the area that is that the botanist has been trying to raise awareness about. That one, it's got a little sting to it, but that just means it's working. You know.
I'm gonna get some of your lavender, thank you. How much is it?
That's the most D&D world like fragrance
soap
from the
is-
rich. Oh yeah, we just we
just
line
one
all our
copper.
plates with arsenic. It really keeps it safe from the elements.
I
and,
mean, listen, lye
Huh?
existed in the real world, and it was basically just acid.
I take a couple copper pieces and buy a few bars. It'll keep us.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right, so fast forward back to where we were.
Better.
That's poison? No,
It might make you stronger.
that's
Make
not
you
how
stronger.
allergies work. I give you. I don't have anything for this mean. Sorry.
I think
Come, let's get out. Let's go.
I'm
You just- are you a-
so
Yeah, smells identical to those pine cones at Walmart. As you guys get kind of washed up in the North Look, Scramsax happily sends you back up to your rooms, which are still there for you. The inn itself still in that same kind of state of brustling and rustling around. You guys can spend a little bit extra time there, just kind of drinking and mingling if you want. But
Do we have a
otherwise,
place to treat our furs and get rid of the ichor on them?
yeah, there's probably near the washrooms. There's just kind of like wash pans that allow you to rinse out your furs.
some scrubs.
Yeah, some
scrubby.
scrubs and like large combs, like thick teeth combs that you can kind of pull through that just kind of sloughs off the vitriol.
I use the old bars of soap now to cleanse a little bit. Get a little bit more fish smell and gut smell on it.
Yeah. Like, it's frozen up here, but do you have like a lemon something behind the bar? My nose. It's cold and hot.
Hold on. And he kind of gets behind the bar, rummages around. I mean, I only use this for real fruity drinks, but he just had like literally a lemon.
Thank you so much. Do
I
you want the lemon back, or do you just want me to use it? to
consider it part of your tab.
Okay, I literally put it on my nose. Oh, this feels so nice.
You guys make your way back to the town hall area. The town hall here in Bryn Shander is a larger building than the previous one. While the previous one was a little bit more more like a longhouse sort of situation. A more like traditional build that was in Bremen. And had some like dwarven architecture inspirations. The one here in Brinchander is very much a like large house borderlining on mansion size that has the tapestry and the heraldry of Brinchander, which is this this wheat image here that is hanging on either side of the doorway, and large pillars that are behind it that lead you into the area. I think kind of like a almost like plantation housey, but if it was all made out of like wood. Houses aren't made out of wood, but like it was all wood colored and textured and stuff like that. Like less painted white, but the kind of plantation house design and layout, if you will. As you guys come in, you see Sheriff Markham Stoutwell, who is currently talking to a young woman who is here. This is your captain of the guard.
Oh, yes. Yes, the young woman.
Yes, young woman. Look like description. He seems to be kind of lighthearted in demeanor, and kind of talking to her, and she has a more stern look on her face. She's sitting currently in a large chair, which is kind of customary for these kind of speaker government positions, which is kind of a handed down tradition from older times where like jarls would sit in these large chairs in long houses. But you see her here. The speaker. Notably, you guys see she is a very young woman, especially compared to the other speakers that you have met, where Maxildinar was a little bit older in middle age, and the dwarven fellow who you met in Bremen was very, very old.
Getting on it.
Getting on, very, very old, practically in the grave. But speaker, she kind of nods towards you guys, and Markham turns around and is like, you all made it. Please, come in. And he gestures, and some workers kind of bring out a handful of chairs. And
Stoop my way in. Take a seat.
And he kind of rests his hand over the top of the chair that the speaker is sitting in, and she's it's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Duvessa Shane.
Hila.
Yes, of course. Nice to meet you. Are you okay? I heard you were doing some traveling recently.
In at the same time, it's probably nothing.
Oh, okay. I mostly just wanted to meet you to thank you. I heard that you guys secured an iron shipment to the town, and with every little bit counts. I've heard a couple of things. You all have been doing some good around the 10 towns. I did too, yes. She kind of leans forward in the chair. I was curious what your intentions or goals are here in our humble 10 towns. I'm, as you may or may not know, I am the head of the Council of Speakers, and normally if someone's names show up on my radar more than once in a short frame of time, it's either very good news or very bad news.
Looking for work.
When I look around this like main chamber, are there any like decorative things, curtains on the wall, pots, plants?
There's a like large tapestry that's on the wall, but it's mostly just it's a image that is painted onto this tapestry that's like the view from the top of the hill of Brinchander, but the sun is very clearly out, and it's not all snowy all of the time. You can see there's like spots of. It's actually quite beautiful. There's little spots in the like upward swings of the hill where the sun would be beating down. That you can actually see some grass. Seems to be like what you would maybe consider like the peak of summer here in Icewind Dale, and the quite beautiful kind of sunset picture. The heraldry is displayed in numerous spots, as well as the very ornate large fire that is fireplace that's kind of stands opposite of the tapestry.
Are we? Do we have purpose? Helping.
Are you okay?
I'm just. Whatever you have me smell. Hold on, and I'm just gonna. I feel like I have to sneeze. And I like step up from the table, and I'm just sorry. I'm listening. I don't want to like sneeze on.
Markham reaches into his pocket and pulls out a kerchief for you.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. And
We're
Dragonborn nostrils. Well, imagine like
Yeah, still. So I want to preface you that when I finally do sneeze, I'm going to be sort of walking near the fire, and by habit, Dragonborns, when they sneeze, they don't like sneeze into their clothes. If you have like a fire or something that you can sneeze into, they will do that.
Fair.
And,
That's cool.
And because per the usual, a really hard sneeze for me has lightning that comes out.
Right.
So that will eventually happen.
Okay. As you're kind of still dealing with the impending sneeze, Duvessa is
stop believing it's waiting. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Is looking at you all, kind of bringing in the sights of kind of how you guys are presenting yourselves as a group.
clean, not like a vagabond group, and somewhat, put together. Yeah, we don't really have an objective at the moment. We having just solved one. I mean, we saw that inn full of adventurers all looking for work. We're doing a little bit better than that. I mean, presumably, hopefully, that helps build a little bit of credit for us so that we're trustworthy. But it's kind of our idea. Trying to be helpful.
Well, she kind of leans. She leans back a little bit. It is the times as they are. People need help more than many other times. She kind of looks up at Markham. If you were all, my hope is that you are all on our side, so to speak, on the side of the 10 towns and its well-being.
Compared to what? We haven't really heard anything against it.
There are people who seek to undermine the councils, people who seek to worsen other people's lives. I'm personally not in support of some of the actions that people push for here. I can't stop the people in the form of the sacrifices and things that are made in tribute to Oral.
Oh, I was about to actually clarify that.
Sacrifices.
I don't, but enough of my constituents do that I can't exactly stop them. So I apply order where order is due.
But don't you the speaker? Don't you me either? Oops.
Yeah, I make the rules to an extent, but if the vast majority of people in town have been bullied or forced to believe that something like human sacrifices are worthwhile or make things better for them, then I can't exactly... If we didn't have order to it, they would just do it on their own, and it would be much worse. So we do a raffle here, but try to keep things as fair as possible.
We weren't selected, were we?
No, there's no raffle for a little while yet this month. I can't expect anyone to be able to fix, she kind of points up in the air, this, but having groups such as yourselves who are willing to make a positive difference is good, and knowing your intentions, if you do have the intentions of staying around and bettering the lives of the people here, I would
say that we are much more on the side of non-sacrificing, as we don't really want to be a part of that system. Yeah, I would say that. I would feel a little bit shocked if I got chosen.
I must be completely upfront with you. We are people.
Yes, I can see that quite clearly. Mostly, the sacrifices and of any kind aside, I want you all to know that if you continue to do good among the 10 towns, we will most likely meet again, and we will. We all appreciate it.
We do have a bit of information on sacrifices that are happening in Targos, actually.
Her eyes kind of narrow, and
Maxildinar seems to be running some kind of corrupt scheme where he can choose who gets to be sacrificed, and not everybody was, in the lottery, so to speak.
Maxildinar is a very pushy man. He, all of the speakers can be hard-headed, as anyone. You don't lead a bunch of people who are hard-headed without being a little bit so yourself. And Markham kind of chuckles at that.
And she gets kind of excited and goes to knock on the speakers.
As some of the electric shock of the large sneeze shoots its way out, she kind of startles back.
I feel so much better. Oh my goodness! That's the big one. Stop asking me to smell things randomly. I guess you stop asking me to smell, and I'll stop asking you to spell things. Smell for spells.
Speaker
Sure.
Maxildinar, he all of the speakers go kind of march by the beat of their own drum. I don't necessarily rule over any of them. I'm simply the head of our collective group. But
Here, how frequently do they all come to Brinchanda?
not very. We meet as need be. If there's crisis, or if there is something dire that needs to be discussed.
Isn't that strange? Most head of councils and in Taimantha, they meet quite frequently. It's important to keep the communication open.
We do have lines of communication with most of the speakers. However, the 10 towns mostly operate on their own. We come together in times of dire need, but sometimes some of the speakers have a harder time accepting need as dire than others.
Are towns that are struggling more than others?
I'd say all of the towns have their own struggles. I mean, we haven't received our the shipment of good mead from Goodmead this last month, which they have certainly never missed a shipment, and especially since the rime started, things haven't been going great. If
Was anyone checked it out?
we haven't been able to spare the manpower, unfortunately.
We
But-
could do that.
I was actually potentially, if you guys were still seeking work or seeking ways to help, there's another speaker, Trovis. He's actually a dragonborn. He lives up in Kerkonig, and he's apparently been having some issues with thieves in the area. If you guys, if you're, I'm unsure of your the direction of your travels, but if you guys do find your way up there, Trovis is he's a good man and a dear friend of ours. And
And you said, is he the speaker?
he is the speaker, yes, of Kerkonig.
Yeah, we've already been up there.
Kind of, just in passing. With pit stop, or... But if you have a little time, what do you know about the goblins to the east? There was reports saying that they were attacking the eastern gate. Not too long ago in those sports.
Nothing more than slight skirmishes that have gotten blown up by the bulletin. There's slightly above average goblin activity, but they're struggling just as much as we are. They
found a war party of them out.
I believe, and Markham kind of steps up at this point. Yes, they tend to roam around in the tundra areas. They look for any kind of food or goods that they can scavenge. They're not exactly predatory, but they take what they can when they can.
Okay.
For the most part, they're not too much of a trouble, but
Len kind of shifts uncomfortably. What did you want done in Kerkonig?
if you all could go and potentially help, I'm sure Trovis would be very, very happy to receive some help. I'm not sure exactly the state of his affairs currently, but if you all were looking to help the people and maybe looking to continue spreading a good name for yourselves within the 10 towns, Kerkonig may be a good spot for you all to stop.
He's having an issue with thieves.
Mm-hmm.
What have they been
Yes.
stealing?
As far as exactly what they've been stealing, I'm not necessarily sure. He's the couple of times that we've spoken, he has been rather distraught and frustrated. He doesn't speak too much on specifics, but he just says that some unseen thieves have been stealing items around the town.
Sure. Seems kind of like...
It's children.
Could be. If they were, though, I think that
What are we still
I think that
doing?
Trovis would. I'm certain they would be more than willing to reward you, and if not, then we could talk about something.
For murdering children.
Oh, you wouldn't certainly not be murdering children. Regardless,
Hey,
If-
we don't know who.
if it is pranksters that have somehow gotten away from Trovis and his men, then I mean, you could simply apprehend them, perhaps.
Yeah, we could.
To scold some children.
It might not be children.
Of course, but who else steals?
Adults.
Well,
Goblins.
Childlike.
Goblins.
Well, the goblins. Right?
They're
Yeah.
people, like any of us.
Goblins are people.
But yes, I mean they have their own ways and are sometimes more hostile than other races. They don't necessarily get along with the 10 towns, that's for certain. But
I thought like goblins were beasts or like creatures.
they're they're small and slightly monstrous. But they are people. At the end of the day,
Bad language. They spoke common to us.
they speak, and some of them even write. They have families, etc.
How's it?
No different from us than the dwarf.
Speaking that
I was behind you. The voice came from in front of you.
was small. I thought you were doing that astro projection thing.
If we end up in Aircorn, we can help.
We also
We appreciate.
the innkeeper's boy went out to Caircona too. I think we're going to go with Care. Perhaps our interests align with going that direction. Maybe we can make our way to Goodmead at some point too and see why the shipment stopped. Do you happen to know if other towns didn't receive their shipment, or is it just yours?
I'm not entirely sure, but if the shipment didn't make it here from Goodmead, then Targos, Bremen, Tourmaline, Lonelywood, they get all of their shipments from us. So
Good point. Good point. Maybe we'll go check that out too.
it may sound laughable, but the mead flowing is the only thing that keeps some people going in these times.
Yeah, that's why it's laughable.
Shit.
Please, Duvessa.
Duvessa.
Yes.
I'm going to is it when you go to a priest and you tell them yours?
Confession?
I have a confession.
Do you think she's a
Do
priest?
you need to go to the House of the Morning Lord?
No, I have a secret, but I want you to keep it, but it doesn't have to be a secret because most priests will tell people your secrets anyways. Right? So I didn't know that I may have done something really bad, and I don't know if I'm going to be one of these good people anymore.
What are you saying?
Markham kind of like shifts his weight a little bit and is just like, "Oh, there's something we need to know."
I really thought that they were like little bears, like little green.
This is about the goblins?
Bears. I have someone making a skull sculpture, like trinket for
Trophy.
me to trophy. I have.
Just back into baseball mode.
That's really not good, huh? I thought that because I thought it looked pretty.
Duvessa just kind of starts giggling. Markham's like, it could be considered a little on the edgy side, you could say. We don't have any goblin residents, but the goblins here in Icewind Dale are generally opposed to the 10 towns as they are.
I'm so thankful.
There's plenty of barbarians who wear the skulls of their enemies and whatnot.
They're good people.
I've known a good barbarian.
Right? That makes me feel
It's down at class.
Before we turn in for the night, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. And they won't.
If you want to apologize to the goblins, you probably need to apologize to some goblins.
I didn't want to apologize to goblins.
So why are you saying sorry to him?
Because I felt like I might be culturally offending them.
The goblins.
No, because they said we were good people, and I just killed good people. Now I want to wear the head. Like, no, that's not. You just can't say like, "Oh, this is just a child," and then.
Hey,
and then,
did the goblins try and return the cart of iron next to the dead dwarf? No, they were trying to steal it. Not good people.
they're still people.
True, but we're talking about good versus bad people.
They're people. Like, what qualifies? It's a bit off. It's just, what qualifies the difference between a beast and a creature and a people?
Not really my realm of expertise.
It's been a long day. I'm gonna go.
Also,
Get some food at the end. And
Duvessa is still kind of like recovering from giggling.
Duvessa, if you come across more opportunities like this in the future, and we aren't, dead, maybe toss us more work. That'd be great. And all right. Thank you. Have a good time. You stay in Latin, and
I take out the lemon and like,
I open the door. Neela, we'll be back at the inn, and I duck out.
oh yeah, I've got to go deal with the little peoples. Don't kill a child. I didn't kill a child. He was like, had a little beard.
In my experience, bandits are bandits. Your friends are leaving, by the way.
It was nice to meet you. Sorry about
Pleasure was
the
ours.
electricness.
Lan walks out with Neela whenever she leaves.
Also, you're quite different than the rest of the speakers.
Duvessa kind of stands up, and she's wearing very, very nice kind of noble robes with a furred scarf, and she's like, I am quite younger than most of the other speakers, but I do my best to lead, and I have so far done a good job, I believe. And Markham's kind of nodding beside.
Pleasing. Oh no, am I sneeze?
I should add that to my resume. Alarmingly pleasing.
One more title.
I put my arm underneath Latin's arm.
Surreptitiously, a dwarf throws a skull trophy of a goblin through the window. Hey, your order's here!
I do, like, as soon as the cold air hits me, I'm like, oh, my face. I'm really messed up. from that stuff. Whoosh.
Len kind of like rubs at his face where he used to have a bear muzzle.
Maybe stop by. No, I should stop by tonight. Because what if he's working on it all night and someone comes in, he's got the corpse of a little baby. I just can't. I can't bear it. That's most ridiculous. And so I just like walk across to there and see if they're still up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go across to the Black Iron Blades. You do hear the forge kind of running currently, and the door is unlocked. Walking in, Garn immediately recognizes you in your tall form, and is like, "Hi! I finished that request that you had. It's not the sturdiest thing." And you see that there's kind of a the skull. The top of the skull without the jaw is kind of upside down, and there's like a metal handle screwed into the side of it, and the holes in things. He's done his best assumption of like turning it into some kind of like mug, but the bottom is still a skull, so it's completely round, so it can't like sit on anything. He's like, it's actually pretty proud of this one.
It's so cool. Love it so much.
It's versatile. You can drink out of it, or you can just like hang it on your belt.
Or you can get arrested. Are you an accomplice?
Is there something illegal happening here?
I don't want to tell you anything. That makes you an accomplice.
You know what? No charge. You can have that, and I'm gonna call it a night.
So sorry. It's cold.
Latin just reaches down and pats his shoulder with his big hand a couple of times but says nothing.
Like, kind of
He physically just
nervous laugh, and he walks, kind of closes down the vents on the forge, and walks into the back, and you just hear kind of muffled through the doors like, Elsa! So what's next for you guys?
Next we go to Amazon and order a Goblin skull bug to have the prop at our D&D table. That's what we do
I
next.
can only imagine that Duvessa was like, adventurers are definitely a different breed. What was that?
They wanted a vibe check you a little bit. Luckily, the Goblin skull mug wasn't completed yet. Might have changed the vibe check slightly. So you guys.
What is that bug? Is that the skull of a child? I'm sorry.
It was like the amount of like steps you had to get to this point, and you're just like, I'm sorry. It's so weird. Trophy, and then you kick around, and you know it's wrong, and you feel bad enough.
God, it's so cool.
Awesome. So, you guys make your way back to the inn with some new information about the Dragonborn Trovis, who lives in Caer Konig, currently struggling with some thievery. Just for meta level referencing, you guys have not visited the House of the Morning Lord. That is one of the locations, one of the things you wanted to do while you were in Bryn Shander, just as a general note / reminder.
Going tomorrow.
Okay.
I will remember that when I wake up super bright early tomorrow and want to go.
All right. You guys wake up in the morning, being able to rest. Was there anything else you were wanting to do with your night, or?
Before I go to sleep, I give him the sleepy time tea.
I take the sleepy time tea.
Would you?
What had? Oh, go ahead. You already told me that once.
Would you? Never mind. You just have the tea. I would like to go to the bar. And
What?
Can I have?
How do you hand it to me?
I just hand you the thing of it.
Oh, okay. You
The-
don't
like the-
you don't brew it in the Goblin skull bug.
No.
Okay. Just making
I
sure.
do go to the bar
Okay.
and I ask for some. Thanks. Do you have fire water here?
Yeah, we've got a little bit of fire
I
water.
just want like a little.
Sure. You like pour the shot of fire water
Return
for
on Thursday in the morning.
Sure, yeah, as long as I get it back.
You say. Ooh. Could I?
Ah. 2 silver.
Oh yes. Sorry. I normally pay for things before I leave. I promise. 2 silver. Also, thank you for the
he
lemons.
kind of grins, gives you the toothy, gold-toothed grin, and just says, "Don't worry, I don't worry about not getting paid very often."
2 silver. Thank you.
Takes it and he kind of tosses it into a bin under the bar.
I forgot this is that part. Anyway, go ahead.
You guys have probably encountered someone like causing a little bit of a scene at some point while you were here, and it's a very swift reaction of like someone talking to this barkeeper, kind of getting into a voiced raised situation, and he just like nods to some people behind them, and they just immediately grab them and pull them into a back room. Like this guy is very very willing to loan out rooms to adventurers who are down on their luck, but he gets paid when he wants to.
Yeah, that's actually all I meant was that, like, he's the barkeep who keeps mentioning how, yeah, money, not a problem around here. Don't you worry. I got things to take care of, people who don't pay their dues. I don't got...
Yeah.
Nobody doesn't pay their dues to me.
What do you do when you get back to me?
I go back to the inn. Probably not asleep. Getting dinner
Back
and
to
then
the inn,
going
calling it a night.
Cold my day in the night.
You guys rest through. You can mark down your long rest for the day, and the aurora greets you in the morning. Oh,
Yes, my traditional set of mage
oh, that's
armor.
terrifying.
No, I don't.
Our front door detected a person, but it was a wasp.
What?
It landed on our Nest camera.
Person-sized wasp.
Wasp with a person's face.
Yeah, you guys wake up in the morning, all fine and dandy, well rested. The tires of yesterday's adventuring mostly worn away. What would you like to do?
Are you going by yourself to the house in the morning, Lord?
Oh,
Your
wake
solo
up.
adventure?
I'm waiting on you. To wake up.
I come down for food.
How are you feeling?
No dreams.
That's good. That's good. It worked.
How did the sleepy time team work?
Give me a Constitution save, or you can choose to fail if you wish.
I guess I roll. I don't really know what the difference there would be, but how about a 20?
A 20. The tea doesn't have much effect on you outside of warming you up. It tastes not that great. It's got a very leafy, earthy taste to it. But the act itself soothes you enough that you fall asleep fairly easily.
What was your question again, sorry? No dreams.
Good. It worked.
Yeah.
We should stop by the herbalist and get you some more. Yeah, I do. That's like the one. How much I gave you is for 5 days.
Oh,
Oh, did you drink it? Oh,
sorry.
well, maybe it's supposed to last for 5 days.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how
that
that.
makes sense.
That does make sense. Right. Well, there's only one thing.
He's like, I'm not supposed to be back here, but I'm still getting head pats. I don't know what's happening.
Sorry. So, do you remember, you said you'd be willing to go to the House of the Morning Lord to get checked out, and that was even before the Goblin incident. Do
Sure.
you still feel like it?
I don't know. Shrugs.
Alright, it's the House of the Morning Lord, when we looked at the map when we came in, was on the northeastern part of town. And we were told they may have HP potions. But since we already got some from the herbalist. Does he ever wake up? No one's sleeping.
He comes down.
What are you wearing today? Oh, the same thing you wore yesterday. Well, is that the same outfit you wore yesterday?
Cleaned. I cleaned it yesterday.
It looks good.
Thank you.
You smell pretty nice.
Ah. So,
Going to see the speaker.
when we went to see the speaker, that's when I used it, so. We were in the wash basin, everybody was
I
being...
remember. I figured these you smell so nice, so you were going to go visit her again.
No. I think we did what we set about.
But you always smell good when you go to see important people.
This is the leftover from that. I haven't bathed again.
Oh, this is just residue.
Don't you normally bathe yourself?
I mean, but I don't smell like a flower.
What do you use when you bathe?
Like the lie.
What's on the docket for the day?
Good.
What are our plans for the day?
Docket. We're going to the Morning Lord.
You know, as much as I've said everything about you is with religion recently, this doesn't surprise me.
What's that mean?
Nothing. Let's go to see the House of the Morning Lord.
House of the Morning Lord.
Are we
Oh, this is a place of worship, huh?
are we going to Care Koenig today too?
I would assume so. Yeah. I've already got all my stuff in the room upstairs. You guys got everything? I checked to see if your mug's attached to you.
I'll be
Nice.
Right back. I'll be right back. And I like sprint upstairs.
Okay.
And I come back with the little cup and the mug.
Mhm.
And I'm like, thank you. Oh. It's still got the fire water in it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey,
I'm here.
did you pay for that firewater and not drink it?
I was going to. Then I just cried.
You wanna drink it now?
Yeah.
Okay, and I walk back up to the counter. There you go. Slam it back.
Morning.
Good morning.
Waking up to the bottle of gin.
Woo. All right. Woo.
Every good dragonborn needs to start their day with a shot of firewater.
So you guys can make your way towards the northeast of town. In the northeast kind of market district, there's a modest converted house that serves as a gathering place for religious purposes. This is, you know it to be the House of the Morning Lord. As you walk in, there is a older half-elf gentleman who has very short, kind of like buzz-cut hair, currently wearing white priestly robes, and is giving a like open prayer at the altar that's kind of in the back of this converted house. One of the things that you notice immediately, it's kind of, are any of you trained in religion? Perchance?
I don't know why I'm looking. There's no.
No.
Okay. One of the things, probably you, Art, you kind of, there's something that, even though you're not particularly deep dive into religion, you know of a little bit more of the general goings on. The Morning Lord is the name for Lathander, who is also a member of the House of the Triad, who you guys saw the ruined church earlier in the day. As you're walking in here, something even more kind of off strikes you in that none of the holy symbols that are depicted in this building are Lathander's holy symbols. And as the half-elf gentleman turns around and is like, a monitor bless you all. How may I help you? Are you here to worship?
What was
That
that
looks
first
to
thing?
Neela.
A monitor. The Morning Lord.
What's with the, this isn't Lathander's normal heraldry?
Lathander. No. A monitor. The god of the sun, known to take both male and female forms. The Morning Lord. You guys hear a door kind of slam open. The smell of freshly brewed coffee immediately hits your noses. Sorry. As you see this is a rock gnome tinkerer who has completely bald on top, but has like you know the guy from Back to the Future. He's got the hair that's like all sticking out.
Doc?
It's bright red, yeah, like Doc style hair that's bright red. Holding a cup of coffee, wearing furs, and the furs that you can tell are pretty clearly like self-made. You can tell kind of telltale stitching, but also just not really in the style of anything that you've seen before. And he kind of takes the hood of it and plops it up over his head and shivers. And you see it's kind of a the aesthetic of where the ears on the hood are kind of make this gnome look like a teddy bear. And he kind of walks in and is Mishan, you're doing that, Amon. Listen, everyone knows Lathander is the Morning Lord. And honestly, you gotta stop with the whole... You're just confusing people with the whole House of the Morning Lord. If you want, I can lead a service for Lathander, then tomorrow, that way people won't be as confused. And Mishan immediately just like shooting dagger look at this gnome is... sorry for my incredibly rude housemate. Copper, will you please not in front of we have newcomers to the church.
I look around the church. Is it populated with anybody else?
There is no one here currently. Just you all. There's a couple pews that are empty. It's not necessarily a high time of worship, but
well, yeah, especially and I kind of start rambling. A monitor, the house, the Lord of the Sun. You must not get a lot of visible connection with that.
It's Copper.
Copper, no. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, hey.
And what was your name?
My name is Mishan.
Michonne.
Yeah. Mishann.
Of course.
Throw that little extra N on the end for a little pizzazz.
You get it right just one more.
A double N pizzazz.
No, A-N-N. No, one A.
Michonne.
Brief reminder, what it means, you copper and over
This is my church, yeah. This is
Do you own it? You own the property?
Yes, this was my house. I converted it into a place of worship. For the sake of a monitor, the Morning Lord glares over at Copper, who's just sipping his coffee with a very half uninterested, half smug kind of look on his face. I'm just like, yeah.
So you two are here for the thing. I'll go talk to Copper.
We have something that we would like. I'm not sure which one of you is religious.
Copper's kind of just like...
I just...
Actually, a clerical offender.
So does that mean you're then you just... I think you should talk to them.
What's
weird.
here? This is
So...
a little early for this.
So, like...
She had firewater earlier.
Are you drunk?
I'm not drunk. I just had one shot.
She wanted me to talk to you about my visions,
Let's use it for notes.
Oh.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Sorry.
happy to talk. I got Ishan, don't worry. You can stay. You
Do you want
can
me
really.
to with you? I'll be there with you.
There's I mean, I'm not necessarily on duty, so to speak, but I can help you out for sure. What's he kind of looks you up and down, and the oversized coffee mug in his hands, and
What does it mean? Have you already done your service, and then at the end of your service, you're no longer a cleric?
I practice myself. I'm not really the preachy type.
Yeah, I did 2 years in the military, and now I'm off duty. I'm no longer a part of it. Maybe in the future. So, do you get your abilities even after you've done your years?
I mean, I'm still a follower of Lathander. I have some tricks up my sleeve, you could say.
Like magic?
Yeah, like magic.
Or is it religion?
Same thing, basically.
Right.
You just hear an audible groan. As hours of the time was undone in a single sentence. There's a lot, Ela, and when he said basically. There's an ocean of difference between the basically as I just...
And the gnome is like, really, Mishan, you stay. You can stay. I got this. Don't worry about it. I got this one. And Mishan's just like grumbling and returns to the altar and starts praying. You now observing the gnome's furs a little closer. You see that it's basically like a bear cub onesie that this gnome is wearing. Like, it's got a big zipper in the front, and it covers all of his legs and goes out into long sleeves, and then has the hood that literally just has the little bear ears on it. It's just like, I made it myself.
You murdered a bear cub, and you skinned it. I was like, this fits.
Is it actually?
I mean, I assembled it myself. It's not just like, I didn't just skin a bear cub and put it on. That would be barbaric. You don't just directly, you gotta process things in order to, before like you use them for other things.
I was going to say, it was really cool if it was just like one whole bear, but...
One whole...
I'm not really in the business of murdering bear cubs.
Thanks, people. No bears like
You're walking away from this.
So he throws himself up into a chair. There's kind of a dining area. You guys are currently in I'll walk you back into a kitchen area. There's some herbs on the walls and things like that. And like, so you were saying you had some questions about some visions or something?
I had a dream where I turned into a bear, ate a fish, but the fish was a man. It felt very real. And then yesterday, in combat, partially turned into a bear. Or something, I guess.
Okay. Did you get bitten by anything?
That's
You
what I'm
talked to any
saying.
like old sage up in the mountain, and like found you worthy, fellow Goliath. And, like bit you on the shoulder. Nothing like that.
I think I may have been cursed by a druid. Or
First,
I don't know.
that's a pretty big statement. What makes you think you got cursed by a druid? Just because you had some bad dreams?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to take this situation as seriously as possible.
Listen, it's very serious.
I'm sure it sounds like it.
He almost attacked us.
If you're... transformation stuff isn't necessarily in my purview. I do know there's some barbarian tribes that would sort of channel spirits. The barbarians of Icewind Dale look down on it for the most part. They don't like being having their like physical bodies transformed. They think it's a sign of weakness. But there's some of them towards the south, even further south, out of the Dales. They sometimes will kind of accept the spirits of their gods into them, and it leads to some pretty horrifying shit, honestly.
Claire, if he was cursed, wouldn't he still have magical signatures on him? Wouldn't that show up to discovery spells like
Potentially.
detect magic?
This is new for me.
Let me see.
Start
down.
ritually casting detect magic.
Be looked down upon by other barbarians. I understand why they would be looked down upon, because it's not actually them being strong. They're getting that power from something else, which means you're not actually strong, or stealing it, or using something else. But within your people.
Not my people.
Well, within... I mean...
I don't know any barbarians.
I mean, there's depends on who you ask. There's the Reghead men. There's a couple different tribes, like bear, elk, like tiger. Honestly, there was a duck one once. It might not be around anymore, but they they wander around. They hang out in the tundra. They prefer it over town life. Things have been nice between them and the 10 towns for a good number of years. There haven't been any attacks or anything. There's the Goliaths also that live out on the glacier, I think. But I don't follow their religions too closely. I know they worship. This is me actually, Ryan, forgetting the name of the god they worship. Can't remember it.
There was something else.
I'm listening.
When I was younger,
Tempest, that's his name. Storm god.
I was out in the tundra and fell unconscious. I heard the mountains speak, and I woke up with a dagger.
Miracle you survived.
And I pull out a dagger. It's this. Could it be related?
Hold on. And he kind of walks over, opens a drawer in the kitchen area, and where you hear the metal kind of clinking around. He has some like grilling tongs, and he walks over and grabs the dagger with the grilling tongs, and sets it down. You let me know if your thing does anything. And he kind of starts inspecting the dagger while being careful not to touch it. And that is where we're going to end the session for today, as Copper Knobberknocker begins inspecting your dagger, and your detect magic is about to go off, and that is where we will resume next week. Thank everyone for tuning in. We are going to be sending out a raid, so stick around for that. next week we will be doing some more adventures. We will find out where we're headed and make that happen. Does anyone have a raid target? We will go to our ending screen.
Wee.
Yeah. Y'all have a fantastic week. Enjoy all of the plethora of cool new games that shall not be mentioned that have been coming out recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. All right. Peace out, y'all.
See ya.
Bye.